I voted for Trump. I am saying that they are picking up law-abiding citizens. They're destroying families.
Yeah, no shit!
Back in Texas, Gannon says he deeply misses his fiancée, who remains in ICE custody, facing deportation.
Jasmine's good as gold. Love Jasmine.
Dude.
That's it.
Dude, what in the fucking chaos, bro? Oh my God. Can we start with the Trump hairpiece? Dude, right? Can we start there? Like, seriously, what the fuck is going on with the hair, dude? What is this wig, bro? Right? I mean, we saw the little guy meeting Trump. Dude. What in Sam Hill is... Seriously. I mean, come on. A reporter has got to ask him about this. What is going on, dude? Dude, it is like he's doing... Dude, I have like snot flying out of my nose, dude. He is doing the weave, bro. Just look at that expression. Oh shit, dude. Tell me that this... Oh, Lord have mercy on our souls. Right? Tell me that ain't the fucking picture. Dude, they both have diapers. Oh man, dude. That is some funny shit. It is definitely chin strap worthy. I mean, dude, this shit is so crazy.
Thank you for my Trump account.
Thank you for my Trump account.
Dude. Thank you for my Trump account. Thank you for my Trump account. Dude, they'll literally, if that kid is like not a straight Christian, they will be literally putting a gun to that kid's head in like fucking 5 years, bro. What? Who are we kidding? They're all cheering. They hate kids. Are you kidding me? Right? If that kid doesn't hide his true nature. Dude, hey, thank you for my Trump account. Bro, dude, look at that shit, though. Look at this thing, guys. This is like something is going on, bro, with that hair. That hair, that is some of the craziest shit I have ever fucking seen, bro. And it is like, it is this new, it's his new thing, dude. It's got to be related to the hand. I think he's getting some type of treatment and he's got some shit going on, but his hair is disappearing, bro. His hair is fucking zonked, boss. Give me a fucking break, dude. Thank you for my Trump account. Thank you for my Trump account. Dude.
Don't get overwhelmed. Go step by step, following the daily quests and the progress missions. Remember, this game is a marathon.
Look at this shit. He voted for Trump, and then ICE deported his girlfriend. Dude, look at this.
I voted for Trump. I am saying that they are picking up law-abiding citizens. They're destroying families.
Yeah, no shit.
Jobs.
John.
No shit. Dude, yo, dumb fuck. Yeah, it's political punk here. Dude, are you stupid? What did you think was going to happen? Right? Well, they're going to get all the violent criminals? Dude, there are no violent criminals in immigrants, boss. All the violent criminals are fucking Trump voters, bro. Give me a fucking break. You idiot. God damn, dude. And it looks like you got a Trump hairpiece, too. What the fuck is going on? Now you're going to die alone. Right? All because you had to vote for that fucking shithead. All right? Fuck you. Bye-bye. How are these people so stupid, bro? Like, what the hell? Dude, look at this guy.
Gannon is a 75-year-old businessman and lifelong Republican who supported President Trump in 2024.
I wouldn't do that again. Not after this fiasco.
His fiancée...
Yeah, no shit. He can't run again.
I wouldn't do that again. Not after this fiasco.
His fiancée, 45-year-old Venezuelan immigrant Yasmin Suarez Reyes, was detained by ICE at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston in late July. 8
ICE agents swarmed Jasmine and detained her, didn't tell us why, and rustled her off into a car.
When you saw that unfold, what went through your mind?
Well, I was just in total disbelief.
According to her immigration lawyer, Suarez Reyes came to the U.S. legally in 2023 and later applied for asylum, a case that is still ongoing. But her underlying permission to be in the U.S. has lapsed.
Some people may say this is what mass deportations look like.
They're not going after the hard guys. That's too difficult. It's easier to pick them up at the airport. You know, it's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Suarez Reyes was arrested as part of a recent crackdown by ICE at airports across the country.
ICE is here, help us!
Back in Texas, Gannon says he deeply misses his fiancée, who remains in ICE custody, facing deportation.
Jasmine's good as gold. Love Jasmine.
Dude.
That's it.
Dude, what the fuck is going on with this guy? With this little fucking crying? But it's like, yo, what was this guy thinking? Like, yo, how? How did you, right? They vote for the mass deportation. The people are screaming, deport everyone, everyone, everyone. Somehow this guy thought, oh yeah, his girlfriend was going to be exempt. These guys are so dumb, bro. MAGA voters. MAGA voters. Right? And then she, what the hell, dude? Did she know he voted for Trump? Did she know that he voted for, you know, the guy that wants to deport her? This is what bothers me, guys. Okay? Is the level of dishonesty that is currently existing inside our political system. And it's not just about Trump and immigration. It's getting revealed in the Abdul El-Sayed, right, in his campaign too, and his big win in Michigan. And, you know, because people are talking about voting and they're talking about political positions, but they're doing it with intellectual dishonesty because they're not being honest about what's actually going on with these political fucking positions. Like this guy voted for Trump, screaming mass deportations, and his followers were like, deport them all. And this guy somehow convinced himself that there were a bunch of like big criminal immigrants, and Biden hadn't been going after the criminal immigrants, and Trump was going to go in there. But it's like, no, that's bullshit. Trump said every immigrant was vermin. He said they were all rapists. And it was clear from the beginning that Trump wanted to deport every brown person here. So mass deportations could only mean everybody. And they literally lied about Haitian immigrants at the goddamn debate. So for you to vote for Trump and then act later like, oh, he didn't tell me he was going to be this mean, you're so full of shit. It was so obvious to the whole fucking world that they were going to just scoop up everybody. And they've lied and cheated and stolen and degraded every possible group but white fucking Christians. So for you to act like anything else is going on is you're so full of shit, bro. Yo, political punk here. I know. It's killing me. Seriously, guys, if you like what we do around here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and turn those noties on. And I wouldn't be anywhere without the members. So if you want to hit the join button, we really appreciate that too. Thank you so much, guys. It's getting crazy out there, and I'm just really glad to not be going through this alone. All right? All right, keep your chin up. Let's go, boss. All right, fuck you. Bye-bye.
Want to feel cute and comfortable during pregnancy? This maternity set feels soft, breathable, and easy to wear. Adjustable straps and a back bow add a sweet touch. The flowy
Let's get into something else. But that's the real and the long and short of it.
Jasmine got banned, but this one, guys, I think is fairly gnarly. Total degenerates just riffing on murdering innocent immigrants, right? That is where Asmongold has hit today, guys. Okay? Asmongold today landed upon, he suggested murdering anyone who tries to cross the border, even if they bring their kids, and then saying, I don't know why people get so emotional about this and why there aren't more people like me. Bro, right? This is the end result of Trumpism. Is let's murder everybody that's not a sweaty, greasy, long-haired degenerate freak. And yes, he did say that he would do it. He would pew whomever. If it's kids, women, men, anybody, they gonna stop coming over. They gonna stop coming over, guys. Dude, a stalwart. It's like the shit he said is gnarly to the point of, I don't want to get banned playing the shit he was saying. Kind of bad, right? I mean, it was like bad. He's talking about immigrants and dehumanizing them to the level of like, they don't even deserve to be alive, is what he's doing. So he says this emotional blackmail. Well, you can't pew. These people, they have kids with them. Well, then don't bring your kids. If you don't want to get pewed, it's really that simple. I'd pew whoever, he says. If it's kids, women, men, anybody, they gonna stop coming over, right? Because if you don't do that, they'll use children and women as shields to get themselves over, and then they'll put up more women and children at risk because they know they can use them as collateral. That's the way an animal thinks. Okay, look at that. He goes on in and he says, and these people are animals. He says, absolute effing savages. So again, dude, look at him. Think about this. He said this on Twitch, on his Twitch stream, and he got banned. But guys, he's literally relegating, like, the people that come to America that cross the border, they want to work. They're looking for a better life. Now, why are they looking for a better life? Because America has pretty much undermined the economy of all of their countries. Anytime their government tried to do something that we didn't like, we would undercut it. All of the countries in South and Central America, we have fucked with the economies of everyone. Okay? We sell weapons to the cartels that fucking war with everybody in those countries. We buy all the drugs that the cartels produce. Okay? We have created every fucking misery down in South and Central America. America has. So then those people come here and they're like, man, I want to get away from this shit that America has caused in my country, and I want to just try to get a job and have a good life and raise my kids. And then he is basically equating them to being animals simply for trying to have a better life for their kids. And it's like, yo, dude, are you shitting me? Are you fucking shitting me? That, like, I mean, if anything, those immigrants that are bringing their kids to America, they're like good parents, okay? They're seeking a better life for their kids. They're not like making their kids just accept the fact of whatever X, Y, and Z bullshit where they live. They're like seeking something better. And then look at what he follows it up. He says, people are too emotional. I understand the way I talk about this might be a little extreme. It might be a little unemotional. I wish we had more people like me. Too many are worried about the optics of something rather than the reality.
All my friends moved to the city, and maybe they're like me, trying to build something of their own. I just never figured out how to start. Hey Replit, build me a site where people can see my work and make bookings. Turns out the first step didn't have to happen at.
But like, what is the reality? Like, what is the reality of this dirty, miserable like, why is this guy, look at him. Look at how greasy he is. Like, why does he care if some brown-skinned people from South and Central America come to America and get jobs? Like, why is he so irritated by that? What are they doing to him? Are they forcing him to clean up his disgusting fucking house? Are they like lining up outside his house demanding he take a fucking shower? Like, right? It's like, what do you even think? And in fact, guys, I bet this guy orders a lot of food. Okay? I bet he does. I bet he orders a lot of food. And I bet the people that bring him his food, I bet a high number of the people that prepare his food and deliver food to his house are probably the very people he is railing against. Right? You know what I'm saying? I guarantee it. This guy is ordering from restaurants. Everything he eats is probably being prepared mostly by Hispanic people. Hardworking fucking Hispanic people. Right? And they will piss. Dude, they might now, bro. Dude, everybody in his local restaurant. Dude, we should get this clip to all the delivery drivers, bro. Oh my God. Wouldn't that be amazing?
And Dixon, what if I told you even if you're Native American, your ass is an immigrant? What if I told you that?
Right? Dude, let's get this clip to all of the delivery drivers. I want everybody all the Uber Eats people in Asmongold Town need to see this clip. Like, yo, homie, you delivery driver? Come here, watch this. You know that house? Yeah, the one with all the cockroaches, like, fleeing it when you walk up. That's what this guy had to say. This stuff is gnarly, dude. Seriously.
Hey, Carp, they would definitely put on a cape and act like they standing us for some kind of fucking moral fucking servitude, and you motherfuckers support a motherfucker like Trump. Support the Epstein class and a whole bunch of heinous shit going on, lewd acts with children. Man, get the fuck out of here. Fuck your little morals.
Is like a non-stop parade of total fucking degeneracy and you know, racism, and I don't even know what to say, man. Honestly, I don't know what to say because they're getting more and more extreme, and in fact, they're getting so extreme that your standard run-of-the-mill racism and Islamophobia and shit, it starts to feel like not even a big deal, okay? You have people like Asmongold, but like, it's not just Asmongold. It's Donald Trump. It's also people like Randy Fine, okay? Randy Fine will say the gnarliest shit about like Muslims, about like they should be dragged out and pew-pewed and whatever. And he is a sitting congressman. And he will say this shit that is so rotten and so dehumanizing and so degenerate. It's fucking crazy. It is like, it's just becoming commonplace now. Like Trump has elevated extreme racism to, it's gotten so normalized. Crazy, dude. Right? Twitch hasn't given an official reason yet. Dude, come on, bro. Dude, you know the reason. Right? Dude, look at this, though. Look at these idiots. Look at this person. Why Twitch keeps banning biggest streamer? I mean, dude, this has got to be a bot, bro. Come here. Look at this. Dude, hold on. Dude, it's Australia. There's no way, dude. Is this a bot? Look at this. Why Twitch keeps banning biggest streamer Asmongold, but not Hassan Piker, who says America deserves just asking questions. But like, yo, dude, Hassan did get banned. A, Hassan did get banned when he said that. B, that was 7 years ago. Right? Like, bro, can you think of something that Hassan or Hassan Piker has said in the last 7 years, dude? Dude, they're still talking about, like, it's like that 9/11 comment is like the Laken Riley of Hassan Piker.
Mike Will, you mad as shit. You inferior ass over there turning pink, ain't you, bitch?
Comments. Like, bro, really? Anytime I see somebody talk about something outrageous Hassan said, it was like 5 years ago. Yo,
Hey, Carp, that's what they don't want to. They don't want to face the fact that they got played for fools. So they just going to fucking, you know what I'm saying, open their mouth a little bit wider, stretch them jaws, but they will not come up off the motherfucking dick and say, yo, I'm getting worked over. They want to just stay assumed in a position. Go ahead. Fuck it. Take it, you bitches.
political punk here. I know. It's killing me. Seriously, guys, if you like what we do around here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and turn those noties on. And I wouldn't be anywhere without the members. So if you want to hit the join button,
For the first time, I was going to talk to the prettiest and most powerful girl in the school. What could...
What's up, y'all? Happy Friday. Hope everybody out there is having a great day. And boy, oh boy, do I have a whole bunch of news for you. And a lot of it sucks shit. It is bad. So right off the rip here, let me just show you that we got new jobs numbers, and they're atrocious. I mean, they're really, really bad. And I think this is a sign of things to come. So they revised down the May jobs numbers by 66,000, okay? They revised down the June jobs numbers by 37,000. So as, you know, we predicted and many others pointed out, whenever there's like a half-decent jobs report that comes out, it's bullshit. Trump is cooking the books, lying about the numbers, trying to make it look like the economy is doing better than it is, right? And then later on, when nobody's paying attention, they revise them bitches back down, okay? That's point number one. But point number two is the U.S. economy just lost 23,000 jobs in July.
I'm not dealing with no lying bitch-ass motherfuckers on my chat. If you gonna keep lying, you gonna get the fuck out.
Which they say missed forecasts by a wide margin. They were expecting us to grow significantly. We lost 23,000 jobs. Okay, now that's just the beginning, though, because this gets darker. So get this. Bloomberg is reporting. The top U.S. mortgage lender is basically collapsing. They're even at the point now where they're pausing their dividend payments, okay? So they say shares in United Wholesale Mortgage fell by a record 49% on Thursday. They lost half of their value in one day. after the country's biggest mortgage lender announced a net loss of $452 million. That's insane. So, the point that a bunch of people are making right now is, holy shit, are we going to have like a 2008 style subprime mortgage crisis and Great Recession again? Like, here I am, knowing we have a massive economic downturn coming. I don't know what the catalyst is going to be. Of course, I assume it's probably going to be the oil crisis that we have right now and the really high gas prices and really high grocery prices. But then, boom, out of nowhere, it's like, oh shit, we're right back in 2007 as the house of cards starts to come down. So this is fucking disturbing and scary as fuck. And anybody who knows anything about economics is looking at this right now and going, holy shit, iceberg dead ahead. So this is terrifying, terrifying stuff, man. And look, I thought a downturn was coming for a long time. The only thing I can't predict is the timing of the shit, right? Or what the exact catalyst will be. But we know a downturn is coming. I mean, we just discussed the other day, the Japanese yen is absolutely collapsing, and the U.S. had to intervene to save the yen. Very, very disturbing stuff. And remember, this all stems from the Strait of Hormuz being closed, Bab el-Mandeb being closed, and the end result of that is massively high gas prices, also high grocery prices. And I feel like we're at the beginning of very, very dark times here. So just prepare yourself for that, because this economic news, we think it's bad now, but it's going to get way, way worse as time goes by. Okay, so we also have Trump sat down for an interview with Punchbowl, and he had some disturbing comments. So he said, if I don't run, which, by the way, right off the rip here, excuse you, if I don't run, bro, you've had 2 terms. There is no fucking running again, you fat pedophile bitch. If I don't run, fuck you, you can't run. But he says, if I don't run, will those people go out and vote? He's saying that about Republican voters. And that's the one thing I can't tell, because a lot of them are very angry at Republicans. To be honest with you, they're angry at Republicans. They're not angry at me. They're angry at Republicans. This is what he said. I'm not kidding. So this is his cope. His cope is, oh man, the numbers for our party are not good right now. Gee, I wonder who's the head of that party and what they've been up to lately. But he acts like, oh no, actually they love me. They always love me. They'll never not love me. But, you know, they hate the Republicans. But you know what? In a roundabout way, this is actually good news. Because what this tells me is he's psychologically preparing himself for a blue wave. And so when that blue wave happens, he's liable to go, okay, yeah, there was a blue wave, but the reason why that happened is because I wasn't on the ballot directly. If I was on the ballot directly, obviously we would have won, and we would have won in a landslide. But since I wasn't on the ballot directly, what do you want me to say? These things happen. Like, you know, he's finding a way to justify and rationalize what's going on around him. And the reason that's good is it almost is an indication that he's not sure that their attempts to rig the 2028 elections and the midterms, he's not sure that it's actually going to work, right? He's not sure if they can really pull it off. And by the way, don't get it twisted. They have like 7 or 8 different ways they're going to try to put their thumb on the scale. I have no doubt about it. Even potentially including like deploying the National Guard or ICE to harass people at polling places. Like they're going to try to do some dirty ass shit. However, this indicates to me he knows, hey man, we might not pull this off. Like I might not pull this off. In which case, I'll just blame the other Republicans for sucking. And I'll say, well, if I was on the ballot, I would have won by a lot. That's my takeaway from that. Okay. Now, we also have this. Did you guys see that Andy Ogles got his ass ousted in a Republican primary? You simply love to see it. So Andy Ogles is a Trump-endorsed congressman, MAGA congressman, and he declared, quote, homosexuality has no place in America. Remember that? He posted that, and there was massive backlash. Then he came out and, like, blamed it on a staffer of his or something. But no, he posted that shit. Homosexuality has no place in America. He also posted, quote, Muslims don't belong in American society. So this guy is like a old school, hardcore, Bull Connor-style bigot, okay? This is a hardcore racist who wears it on his sleeve. He also called to denaturalize and deport Zoran Mamdani, okay? And he's clearly one of the most authoritarian and fascist members of Congress. Anti-American, anti-Constitution, anti-freedom. This guy's a total piece of shit. So he got thrown out. Now, let's not forget, Trump was going hard in the paint for this dude, bro. he was posting shit in favor of him on a regular basis. He was saying shit like over on Lie Social, Congressman Andy Ogles is doing a fantastic job representing the incredible people of Tennessee's 5th Congressional District and is a conservative warrior who has strong support from his community. In Congress, he's fighting tirelessly to grow our economy, cut taxes and regulations, promote Made in America. He goes on and on and on. He's like, get out and vote for him. He'll never let you down. Oops. Turns out he got absolutely fucking draxed, bro. He got draxed. So this to me is a big deal because I actually think when Trump saw this, he had an oh shit moment. Like, hold on now. This is crazy. So remember the Trump endorsed candidate Amir Hassan lost to some guy named like Tom Smith or some shit. That was purely pawned off to GOP racism because it is because of GOP racism. The guy like Tom Smith hadn't been on the ballot for like a month or two. Didn't matter. Republicans would rather take a white sounding name than Amir Hassan. Okay. But you can pawn that off to just the racism. This one is like, no, Trump was like, this is my guy, vote for him. And now he just lost a Republican primary. In other words, there are factions within the GOP who are not so cultified that they just shut their brain off completely, right? And they're trying to push back from within the GOP to say, we got to take this party back from just the hardcore MAGA bullshit. And so that is a wake-up call. And, Trump is definitely going to have to grapple with that internally, okay? Now, by the way, also, Knox County, Tennessee Democrats flipped a traditionally deep red county commission seat by about 10 points, okay? Another big deal. There's going to be seats that are flipped that people will not be expecting. They won't think twice about it. They'll think, oh, that's safe Republican. Wrong. It is not fucking safe Republican. It is not even close to safe Republican. I'll predict something right now.
Man, shut the fuck about anti-American. Bitch, you are fucking pro-weirdo. That's what the fuck you are. Just say you're racist and stop being a bitch. Stop being a fucking bitch. You scared to say you racist, motherfucker, and you racist, that let me know you's a fucking pussy. Motherfucker hit you in your fucking mouth, you ain't gonna do shit. That's why you on the internet. And you still scared to be racist, bitch. In here typing fake half racist words and substituting shit because you scared to be what you act like you want to be. Go ahead. Don't worry about what the fuck I vote, bitch. Worry about what the fuck you vote. You fucking soft-ass motherfuckers.
Richard Ojeda is running for Congress. I believe it's in North Carolina somewhere, okay? Richard Ojeda is going to be a congressperson. He's going to be a congressperson. He's going to beat his Republican opponent. I'm calling it right now. This is a run that's on nobody's map right now. Nobody's paying attention to it. Everybody thinks it's relatively safe R. Richard Ojeda is going to win that race. Hear me now, quote me later. This shit is happening, bro. It's happening all across this country. Okay, now, let's get back to the nutless wonders known as Republican politicians, okay? So we have Bill Cassidy, or as I call him, Bill
Go
Cuxity.
pussy neck.
He, of course, was just obliterated by Donald Trump. He votes like over 90% of the time with Trump, maybe over 95% of the time with Trump, but Trump is nursing some old grudge against him.
Ain't no fucking y'all, because I'm not Democrat, bitch. I'm the people. You stupid motherfuckers claim a political party because you dumb.
So Trump basically took him out. He lost his election. He's still there, for the remainder of this term, but beginning next term, he was replaced by a MAGA hack, another MAGA hack who's an even bigger MAGA hack. Okay, so he is in position, along with John Cornyn, who's in the same boat, to you're still in a position of power. Trump needs you. Now you have an opportunity to tell him to suck your nuts from the back. To tell him, hey, bro, I'm not your bitch. I have my own ideals, my own philosophy, my own policies, and I'm here to represent the people of my state, in Cassidy's case, Louisiana. And so remember, this is the guy who's a doctor, and he cucked himself into voting for RFK for head of Health and Human Services, knowing RFK is a crank, knowing he believes in junk science, knowing he's a fucking idiot, knowing he's anti-vaccine, knowing he's got all these problems, knowing he bathes in sewage water. and you go, oh yeah, that's a good guy we can put as head of Health and Human Services. The guy who's chopping off raccoon dicks to do what? Suck them in his free time? The guy who's beheading whales and putting them on top of his van? Yeah, that guy. Let's put him in charge of health in this country. Insanity. But he voted for him. He voted for him and said, oh, I talked to him privately and he said he's not going to do anything that's anti-science. Well, here we are. All he's done is shit that's anti-science. The whole thing is anti-science. Insane. So now, what does Cassidy do? He comes out and votes for Todd Blanche for Attorney General. Votes for the absolute psychopath Todd Blanche for Attorney General. Well, who is Todd Blanche and what has he done? He's the guy who has been the acting Attorney General, and he went after Letitia James, even though she did nothing wrong. He went after James Comey, even though he did nothing wrong. He went after the Southern Poverty Law Center and pretended like they're the extremists, even though they try to take down the extremists. He led the Epstein cover-up and gave Ghislaine Maxwell a sweetheart deal and let her stay at a resort in a fake prison. He's the one who facilitated the $1.776 billion January 6th terrorist slush fund. He's the one that did that. He purged FBI officials who were completely sucking off Trump. Because God forbid people actually give a shit about independence and the law. Can't have that. He's a defender of pardoning all of the January 6th insurrectionists, even the ones who assault officers. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? So this guy is gone mentally. He's gone. He's a total loyalist cuck sycophant. And what did Cassidy do? He fucking voted for him. The little bitch, Bill Cuxity, voted for him. He got on his knees and he gave Trump's tiny mushroom cock a sloppy blowjob. That's what he did. This little bitch. There's not a single man in the Republican Party, y'all. Not a single man among them. Jesus Christ. Oh my word. So embarrassing, humiliating, but here we are. Like, you are in a position, could you imagine somebody double crosses you and ruins your life and takes your job from you, and then you still bend the knee like a little bitch boy? Can you imagine that? None of these people have any pride or any integrity or any dignity. They are just useless little cunts is what they are. Oh my God. All right. Well, I also wanted to bring this up because this is crazy as well, but Mitch McConnell may or may not be dead right now, as you all know. Well, I think they said the other day, like, oh yeah, he's totally out of the hospital, bro, but don't worry, we don't have any pictures of him or videos of him, and we can't prove it, but oh yeah, he's totally out of the hospital, bro, he's doing great, he's in rehab or something, bro, whatever, stop talking to us, look away, shut the fuck up. So they're trying to do that whole routine, but guess what? You have people voting as if they're Mitch McConnell in the Senate. Okay? So I thought you weren't allowed to vote by proxy, but apparently they brought it back to one extent or another. So you have another senator, John Boozman, the Republican of Arkansas.
Exactly, Carp.
He was like, oh yeah, I talked to Mitch McConnell yesterday and he wants me to vote this way on this piece of legislation. And so they're voting as if McConnell is alive.
Mitch McConnell is dead.
No. This is insane. This shit is criminal at this point. This is fraud. This is criminal. You can't do that shit. They're pull every dirty trick in the book to...
Hey, Carp, at 60 years old, you gonna be still looking 30. At 60 years old, that motherfucker gonna be looking 90.
And through their disgusting fucking agenda. They're doing it. And by the way, how long are they going to keep this up for? With no proof of life. He could be fucking dead and they're voting on his behalf in the Senate to shove through their pro-pedophilia, pro-terrorism, pro-con artist agenda. Oh, that's so crazy, bro. That is so crazy. I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck? This is some criminal shit. Everybody who's involved in the Mitch McConnell cover-up should go to fucking prison. You can't do this in what's supposed to be a civilized country. Some
You are white, bitch.
Weekend at Bernie's type shit. Fuck out of here. They're voting like he's alive. He could be dead. He could be dead. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. What the fuck? All right. I also wanted to tell you guys this. So Notice is reporting that Trump is planning to keep the National Guard troops deployed in D.C. until 2029. Why? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Can't give a reason. Just like, yeah, I'm just going to keep doing it. That's going to cost an extra $1.4 billion in tax dollars. $1.4 billion for literally fucking nothing. If you look at these National Guard people, they're wandering around, they're eating pizza, They're decked out in fucking camo and holding machine guns. And, you know, as somebody who's, you know, I go to Wizards games from time to time in DC. And last time we went to a Wizards game, we saw the National Guard walking around. And it's like, this is not a free country anymore. This is not a free country anymore. Like, what are we doing? This is police state garbage. And then you wonder, does he have something nefarious planned for these people? Is he going to try to get them to do some further fucked up shit as time goes by when it comes time to, like, swear in the Democrats who win the election or whatever? I don't know the answer. But, like, you got this force just, like, grazing around Washington, D.C. They don't even know what the fuck they're doing there. And it's like, if for no other reason, why are we wasting $1.4 billion tax dollars? Then, of course, they say, oh, we can't afford food stamps. We can't afford the SNAP program for hungry kids. Oh, we can't afford we kicked 18 million people off Medicaid. We can't afford your health care. But I can afford a bunch of armed guards casually walking around Washington, D.C. all the time for no fucking reason. I mean, it's a joke. It's an absolute sick joke. All right. Well, thankfully, we also have some good news here that the D.C. Circuit Court blocked Trump's plan to build a new White House ballroom. So it's a 2-1 vote. D.C. Circuit.
First of all, Derek Beats, yeah, you definitely a white dude. You're definitely a white dude at this point. You call the motherfucker racist, and he ain't say shit racist, but that you age like milk. And that's true.
Court, they said, fuck you, no Epstein Memorial Ballroom. And they even said, oh, you're not allowed to demolish the East Wing, even though Trump has already fucking demolished the East Wing. And this just shows you what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a rogue regime that will literally swat aside over 100 different court orders and say, I don't give a fuck, I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyway. Well, guess what? This has to catch up at some point. We need people going to prison for just flagrantly violating.
Yeah, you white.
Separation of powers, rule of law. I mean, it is beyond comprehension how criminal.
Because you white bitches, sometimes, I'm a black man putting it in your face. But sometimes you white motherfuckers need to hear it from yourself so you can see how fucking dumb you look. And you can see how uneducated you are. We put a dumbass MAGA up here to show you how dumb your ass is. And then we can put somebody up here who got critical thinking so we can show you how fucking naive and fucking easily led your dumb ass is. Period. I can put anybody up here, bitch. I can tell you how dumb you are. But it's a lot funnier when you hear it from yourself, stupid.
These things are. And so yet another court. I mean, shit, what is this? The 5th different court that said, stop with your fucking ballroom? And he's just going to plow ahead because that's what he does. Well, okay, prepare to see the inside of a fucking jail cell because that.
Says the Neanderthal.
Where you belong, bitch. Anybody else acts like this, they got to go to prison. And they got to go for a long fucking time. But he doesn't, and he acts like, oh, I'm just going to get away with it. We can't allow that to continue. We just can't.
I'm black.
All right, so Crystal Kyle and friends tonight. We have Nathan J. Robinson of Current Affairs Magazine coming on. You definitely want to watch this because we talk everything around the election. A lot of great stuff in there. I'll give you a couple teaser clips on the channel, but sign up for Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack to see the entire thing. Like I said, you don't want to miss it. Really good stuff. And one of the things that we touch on.
Get your uneducated white Trump core base, ashy knee, bad breath ass out of my motherfucking chat, man. We ain't wasting no more time with bitches like you. We popping the truth in here. So either you gonna listen to the truth or shut the fuck up.
Is that Third Way, which is the corporate Democrat group, they announced a $15 million program to basically...
When we're 50, 100 years down the road, we're going to look at this presidency specifically, not so much his first one, but this term the same way we look at fucking Stalin and Hitler and Mao Zedong. Like, it's going to be Trump murdered millions of people. I mean, when you look at the fucking USAID numbers, it's something like 6 million people will die because of this.
The world's biggest, world's first trillionaire signed off on like 5.4 million children dying. Yep.
As it always does eventually swing back and, we fix shit and we record the toll, he's going to go down as one of the most prolific mass murderers in history.
He's a mass murderer.
His first term, probably not, but this specific term.
First of all, I will call anybody anything I want. But I don't have to fucking spoon feed dummies. I know how I get a motherfucker. I ain't got to do none of that shit. I just tell you who and what the fuck you are, where you came from, what your genetics is, whether or not them motherfuckers is progressive or recessive. I don't need to play games with no fucking person that's dumber than me. I could tell you intelligently how fucking weak you are. I can tell you how fucking jealous you are. I can tell you how inadequate you are. I can tell you that you ain't gonna never measure up sexually. I can tell you ain't gonna never be enough when it comes to any fucking thing that got to do with this shit right here. So I ain't here to speak eloquent, bitch. I'm here to tell you how fucking trash your ass is. And how trash your motherfucking president is. Period. You go speak eloquent, pussy. I run this motherfucking program around here. I don't let you come here and tell me how fucking eloquent to speak. This ain't the motherfucking speak easy. This where you come to learn some shit. This where you come to learn some shit, bitch. You fucking weak ass man. You's an inferior dude in the comment section mad about some shit you heard. And I'm here to make sure your bitch ass stays mad. So what? You shouldn't have came over here poking your pointy ass nose in my motherfucking business trying to act like you a fucking black man. You's a bitch man. That's what the fuck you are. Weak, insecure, jealous, envious, weak ass man. Period. There ain't nothing you can say over this bitch. Genetically, you weak as fuck. I'm doing that anyway. I'm doing that shit anyway. All I gotta do is throw a picture of Barack Obama on the fucking screen and watch them bitches scramble. Trust me, listen, I got a PhD in making white racists mad. Or Latino racist, or Indian. I don't give a fuck what culture you from. If you're racist, I could chop your fucking ass up with words.
These 4 years will go down as one of the greatest stains on this country.
If not the greatest, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already lost us most of our allies.
Yeah.
The ones
Most
that
of
are
our
even
allies,
still
the
there
world-
on paper, like the goodwill of those nations is not there.
No,
I mean,
they'll never trust
all of
us
us. We're all uniquely in a position where we talk to people all over the fucking world, like
Yeah.
constantly. And it's the same. I don't know about for y'all, but for me, it's the same message all the time. Man, I love you. I love Americans, but like, we'll never trust y'all again.
No.
How can we?
And they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Because we looked at a guy who he fucking incited an insurrection. And then half the country went, all right, I'll vote for him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would sound racist to a fucking racist. It would sound racist to a motherfucking racist. And that mean I did my job. Anytime I let a racist tell me I'm racist, I reflected a mirror on your bitch ass. And you can't take it. So you saying I'm racist because I showed you how racist you are. Well, I say, good day. What's good for the goose is good for the motherfucking gander. Good for you. I feel you, Friction Hitch. Double tap that screen, smash that like button. Let's hear some more from these weak ass. Shout out to Australia. And who you don't trust, Australia? He says, "That my boy Luke." Smash that like button.
Dude.
Yeah, when we're 50, 100 years down the road, we're going to look at this presidency specifically, not so much as...
Holy crap. Did you guys see this? There is explosive new reporting in the New York Times today, reporting from Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan about the extent of the Trump administration's cover-up of the Trump Epstein files. Now, I had thought about using the word bombshell because it's that big of a deal, if you ask me. But one, I don't like to use the word bombshell because it has been so overused, and I think when people see that word now, they just dismiss it. Oh yeah, more bullshit clickbait. And then also, this doesn't actually contain any more information about what Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein may have done to children. But what is explosive here...
You're Hank, aren't you? You're the delivery man. But this is not a FedEx package. There is a little girl that's very sick, and you're delivering her a new liver. If she doesn't get...
is the extent of the cover-up. This is about the lengths to which Donald Trump has been trying so desperately to cover this all up. Now, this is a pretty extensive piece. It printed out to like 20-something pages. I've gone through the whole thing. There's so much in here. I can't get to it all, and I don't...
Folks, I hate to say it, but the information is coming out. The info is coming out. Katie Fang and a couple other people got these court cases in, and these judges want to know what the fuck is going on, what's happening, and explain, motherfucker, why these certain names are redacted. And it's gonna be sad. MAGA, I don't know what y'all gonna do with y'all red hats, but I seen motherfuckers burning MAGA signs and MAGA hats and MAGA t-shirts all yesterday and today. That shit is going down.
I'm obviously not going to read all of this here on this video, so I'll put a link in the description below. I highly recommend that you read this if you can. I also came across a shorter sort of summary of some of the most revealing aspects of this story. This is in Mediaite. I want to read some of this. The headline of this story is 6 splashiest revelations from huge New York Times Trump Epstein story. Now, before I get to that, as I said, this is all about the cover-up. All about the cover-up. And at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, why is Donald Trump so desperate to cover this up? I mean, that's one of the things, that's one of the questions, at least that I have as I read through this extensive piece. Because there were the effort to cover this up, to distract, to move on, to change the subject in any way that they could. You got to ask why. And the political damage. This is the thing. The political damage that Trump suffered over this. I mean, they were in full-on panic, which is made clear from this reporting. Actually, let me begin with a little bit of the actual New York Times story itself. It gives you an idea of how serious Donald Trump and the entire administration take this Trump Epstein situation to be. Here's how the piece begins. On July 17th, 2025, so almost a year ago, just under a year ago, 11 months ago. At around 6 o'clock in the evening, President Trump's top officials filed into the White House Situation Room, the secure bunker where classified and high-stakes national security matters are discussed and decided. This was where President Barack Obama, along with Vice President Joe Biden, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and the president's national security team watched the raid that ended with the death of Osama bin Laden in 2011. Now, however, Trump's most senior advisors had gathered without him to figure out how to gain some measure of control over a very different kind of crisis threatening to engulf the presidency, the Epstein files. That's how it begins. They are meeting in the Situation Room, the most highly secured room that you could possibly meet in to discuss the Trump Epstein files. More importantly, how to cover it up, how to make this go away. And Trump wasn't there. I'm sure he just gave the order to make this go away. Cover this up. Bury it. Make this go away. And honestly, not having him there was probably a very wise decision. If you are in any sort of a strategy session, you don't want this idiot there gumming up the works. So it's actually probably a pretty good idea. We know, just going off topic here for a second, remember it was reported not long ago that the top commanders, military commanders, were meeting about war strategy and they blocked Trump from the room? They kept Trump out of the room because they knew he would just fuck everything up. Anyway, so yeah, probably a good idea not to have him there. Anyway, this article continues. Vice President J.D. Vance took a seat at the head of the table in the John F. Kennedy conference room. Oh, John F. Kennedy. Trump didn't rename that yet? The Donald J. Trump and John F. Kennedy conference room? Of the Situation Room complex. This is a huge problem, he told the group. Arrayed around him were the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, the White House Counsel, David Warrington, the Press Secretary, the detestable Caroline Leavitt, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Taylor, whatever his face is, the Communications Director, Stephen Chung, the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, blah, blah. They were all there.
A carp, exactly. Anything to stop these motherfucking files.
They were all there meeting without Donald Trump, trying to figure out how to cover this all up. Anyway, the question that jumps out to you as you're reading this, or should jump out to any normal person is, why? Because it talks about the lengths to which they went to cover this up and how panicked they were. They knew how damaging this was, right? They were losing MAGA influencers over this. They were losing MAGA supporters over this. This was a big freaking deal. So why would they continue the cover up? Remember, they tell us that Donald Trump did nothing wrong. He has nothing to hide. So why would they try so hard to prevent the release of the Epstein files, to cover this all up, if Donald Trump did nothing wrong? And why would he be willing to cause a rift between him and his MAGA base if he did nothing wrong? The only thing that they ever say is that Trump offers as a reason for wanting to cover this up is that some of his friends would be embarrassed, right? Some of his friends would be exposed. Donald Trump doesn't have any friends. Donald Trump doesn't give a shit about anyone. You're telling me we're supposed to believe that this narcissist who we know doesn't give a shit about anyone? He doesn't even care about his own kids. He doesn't even go to his own kid's wedding. That guy who doesn't care about anyone, literally anyone but himself, is going to take this kind of political heat and go to this effort to cover this all up if he did nothing wrong just to protect his friends? Give me a freaking break.
He ain't got no fucking friends, and y'all know that. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you like this type of live stream where we just uncover and open up the bullshit right here for you to see. No goddamn propaganda. Whatever we find, we are motherfucking, we exposing that shit. You like that type of channel, smash that like button and definitely subscribe.
Know why Trump is so desperate to cover all of this up. Donald Trump did something, probably many things, that he doesn't want anyone to know about. And I firmly believe that whatever it is that Donald Trump did with his best friend, Jeffrey Epstein, to children is so bad that he believes it would destroy him. This guy who has gotten away with everything, this guy who said that he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose any support over it, that guy, he believes, I believe that he believes that whatever it is that he's covering up would destroy him if it ever came out. Now, let me read a little bit of this summary article. There's some good shit in here. I'll put a link in this too. The reporting from Star, New York Times.
Hey, y'all, smash that like button, man. Let's get these numbers up. Let's get these likes up. We had a lot of people come through here. I need the likes to go up.
Political reporters Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan spotlighted a startling amount of behind-the-scenes drama at the White House over the late sex criminal. Haberman and Swan shared the juicy details on the backroom verbal brawls and maneuvering that went into the administration's Jeffrey Epstein strategy. In Wednesday's article, blah, 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 from their upcoming book, Regime Change, Inside the Imperial Presidency of Donald Trump, which will take a look at Trump's 4 years in exile.
Welcome to the channel, Davey. Welcome.
His political comeback and his second administration. Here is what stood out from the Epstein freakout story. Number one, Trump berated Charlie Kirk. What? Trump berated Saint Charlie? Let's read a little of this, shall we? Haberman and Swan wrote that Trump was not happy with some of his most influential supporters, like Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, and Megyn Kelly, publicly pushing the administration to release more files on Epstein in July 2025. By the way, one thing that is repeated several times in this article is that J.D. Vance was one of the loudest voices inside the White House, at least according to this reporting, to release everything. J.D. Vance thought that it would be, because it seems he actually believes that Trump did nothing wrong. So he was pushing for complete release. Even with, knowing that Trump's name is in there, knowing that there'll be some bad press and everything. But JD said, we need to get it out there. And the fact that we're even willing to release some things that are not good for Trump shows how transparent we are and that we really have nothing to hide. Anyways, he kept pushing for this. Obviously, Trump didn't want to hear any of that. I think this is one of the many reasons why JD Vance will never get Donald Trump's support. There's no fucking way in hell. I mean, if J.D. Vance thinks he's going to run for the Republican nomination for president in 2028 and expecting to get an endorsement from Donald Trump, not going to happen. Trump never wanted to pick J.D. Vance to begin with. I mean, J.D. Vance had compared Trump to Hitler at one point before going full on MAGA in order to get be elected to the Senate from Ohio. That was a MAGA switch for convenience. Anyway, so Trump never liked J.D. Vance. He was never going. He was forced by the oligarch class, the billionaire tech bros who wanted Trump to take J.D. Vance. I think they went to Trump and said, look, we will support you. We will put our money behind you, but you got to put our boy J.D. on the ticket. That's the deal. That's the price of admission here, Trumpy. You put him on the ticket, and then we'll get behind you. So I think Trump was forced. Remember, he was desperately trying to stay out of prison. That's why Trump was running primarily in 2024. So he was going to do anything he had to please those people. They told him to put JD on the ticket. He put JD on the ticket. Then JD Vance is inside the White House pushing for full release of the Trump Epstein files. Sorry, JD, you're fucked. Trump's never going to forget that. You have no shot. Anyway, let's get back to this this summary here, this summary article in Mediaite. After a Turning Point USA turned into an Epstein grievance fest, I guess they meant a Turning Point USA meeting or conference or whatever, turned into an Epstein grievance fest,
where several speakers ripped then Attorney General Pam Bondi, Trump called Kirk and scolded him. That happened on July 12th. The same day, Trump backed Bondi on social media and said his fans needed to stop wasting time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, how many times did Trump yell at his supporters? And I think at one point he even said,
"You just got into the live, man. Smash that like button. Open Eyes Media, where we we uncover the shit that they cover up. Double tap that screen, subscribe to the channel, share the live stream."
You're not my supporters. I don't want your support. You're not MAGA if you are pushing for release of the Epstein files. This is how bad it is for him. This is how bad it was for him at that point in time. He was literally threatening to kick out his MAGA supporters from MAGA unless they shut the hell up about the Epstein files. Point number 2, Dan Bongino went nuclear over handling of the Epstein files. Then FBI Director Dan Bongino berated Bondi after the Justice Department published a memo in July 2025 that said Epstein did not have an incriminating client list and that no further disclosure would be made. Here's how Haberman and Swan described Bongino's reaction. The day the memo was released, Bongino showed up to a daily Justice Department meeting with the FBI staff and the Attorney General. He was in a volcanic mood. As soon as he entered the room, he erupted at Bondi, shouting at her. "You fucked this thing up from the start," Bongino yelled. "The way you've been talking about this, the dumb fucking charade with the Epstein files, the they're on my desk nonsense, all the promises to the folks out there." Kash Patel and Bongino both subsequently told a White House official that Bondi needed to resign. This is one of the things that they write about at length in this piece. That Bongino is a broken man. Dan Bongino had been pushing on his podcast for years about this massive conspiracy. I'm sorry, guys. I've been fighting this chest cold for a while here. And I'm really wheezing pretty heavy right now. I don't know how much longer I can continue here today, but I'm going to give it a shot. Bongino was a true believer in all of this stuff. And he, I guess, believes in Trump's innocence. But he wanted to push full transparency. He told his audience this was a massive cover-up, and now that he's going in there, he and Trump, they're going to release everything. And then, of course, Bongino was made to be part of the cover-up. And he was furious over it. He was losing the MAGA base. His audience was turning on him. He thought he'd go in there, take a hiatus from his podcast, which was making him millions, go into the White House as a loyal servant for Trump, come out after loyally serving the Orange God King and having even more cred with the MAGA base and making even more money once he would leave the White House. This blew up in his face. Now he was made to be part of a cover-up that he has spent years telling his audience was a massive cover-up by the deep state, and that he and Trump were going to expose all of it. Instead, he's part of the cover-up. And he was furious about it. And he was furious about Bondi. Remember Bondi? And they talk about this in this article. They brought these podcasters and these online friggin' influencers. Let me see if I can... here it is. Let me read this from the from the article itself. But many viewed what came 6 days later as an even more egregious misstep. On February 27th, the White House Communications Office scheduled a lineup of cabinet officials to brief popular right-wing influencers in the Roosevelt Room. The session began with Vice President Vance, followed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, walking the influencers through the administration's agenda. In attendance was a who's who of online MAGA nuts. I added the nuts.
A top U.S. military general is going public with a dire warning. The United States has run out of military equipment if Donald Trump intends to escalate the catastrophic war in Iran, a general who I've been praising now for the better part of the year, even before the United States invaded Venezuela. He's the one who came out with this publicly. His name is General Alexis Grinkowicz. His call sign is Grinch. He's currently
Kalina V, shout out to you in the chat. Respect.
The Allied commander for the United States with NATO. He's a beloved general, and based on him going public, I worry that he will probably be forced out or fired like many of the other top generals and admirals that the Trump regime has pushed out, as Hegseth and Trump have pushed out. But General Alexis Grinkowicz, he went public in the past 24 hours. The top U.S. commander in Europe with NATO, he warned that the Pentagon no longer has enough Navy destroyers to be involved in any escalation of this catastrophic war in Iran. The way Grinkowicz framed it, knowing that Donald Trump is a Netanyahu bootlicker, is Grinkowicz is like, I know Israel's the one dragging us into this escalation again, like Netanyahu dragged us into this catastrophic war with Iran. But let's be clear, Trump and Hegseth and the U.S. regime of war criminals was complicit with the Netanyahu regime of war criminals. But what Grinkowicz is saying is, all right, well, then you're not going to be able to protect Israel. We're not going to be able, if that's what matters to you, Donald, apparently that's the big deal for you, not the American people, not the Middle East allies, not anybody else, you war criminal. Well, we're not going to be able to protect Israel. So don't be surprised when Iran is able to pierce through the so-called Iron Dome in Israel. Iran has already been able to destroy, Grinkowicz explains, and we've been talking about this, the Arab Dome, the dome you promised to protect the Arab nations. Iran is striking all the U.S. bases there, and you're about to expose that the Iron Dome isn't able to protect Israel right now, Grinkowicz is basically saying. So these Navy destroyers, which have intercepted missiles targeting Israel and other locations as well, are stretched by operations in the Mediterranean, the Red Sea, and around Iran, while maintenance issues have further reduced availability. I want you to think about that too. Maintenance issues, we've seen that with the aircraft carrier groups as well, because Hegseth doesn't know what the hell he's doing. The most basic stuff, keep your equipment operational, keep your ships operational, deal with things like the nuts and bolts. I know that's boring for Donald Trump and Hegseth. Things like the plumbing, the laundry, food on the ship, stuff like that. Hegseth doesn't care about and doesn't think about. And so you have maintenance issues, you have supply chain issues, you have Iran realizes this. That's one of the reasons the Houthis opened up the Red Sea and shut down the Red Sea to Saudi Arabia's tankers. Saudi Arabia now has to take a longer route around Africa. MBS sent his brother this past week while Netanyahu was in the U.S. His brother's the defense minister, Khalid bin Salman, to meet with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. MBS called Donald Trump yesterday, and you had the warning from General Grinkowicz in Europe saying, we don't have the ability anymore with Navy destroyers to help you if you escalate this catastrophic war. We're giving you this warning. So it wasn't surprising that late last night around 11 p.m., Donald Trump posted, despite the fact that we have the capabilities and levels of military terror strength like we've never had before since World War II. We have military terror ready to go. But the perimeter of a deal with Iran is now being discussed. Trump says the perimeter, so we're not going to strike Iran. Look, it's not just an issue of the Navy destroyers. And by the way, the Navy destroyers carry SM-3 and SM-6 anti-ballistic missile interceptors. We also know that the United States has run out of its stockpile of the THAAD interceptors, like each one of them cost about $12.5 million each. The PAC-3 Patriot interceptors we've run out of. And in order to replenish the THAAD and the PAC-3s and these SM-3s and SM-6s, takes years. I mean, maybe some PAC-3s will be ready to go in 2029 based on what we depleted, but these THAADs can potentially be pushed to 2030, maybe even later for when they will be ready. I mean, it is a real dire situation indeed. And so I want to share with you, if I can, just to remind you what Grinkowicz said back in January of 2026. This is when I began highlighting General Grinkowicz. And one of the things he was talking about then is he's like, pay attention, because while Donald Trump is out there attacking Greenland and attacking all of these countries that, that Trump is attacking our allies, Grinkowicz is like, I just want you to be aware. You've got Iran. He was in Switzerland. He was in Sweden, rather, when he was giving this speech and talking about what a model ally Sweden is. And he was trying to, be nice to like other NATO allies, Grinkowicz was. But he was like, look, Iran, China, North Korea, goes, they're working together. They're building up their munitions while Trump is out there basically attacking allies. That's what Grinkowicz was basically saying. Here, play this clip.
China continues to fund Putin's war machine. Iran continues to supply technology and weapons. And North Korean combat troops remain in Russia on Ukraine's border. And of course, there's a confluence between Russia, Iran, and Venezuela and their dark fleet of oil tankers that is helping to fund the war. In the Arctic and the high north, we see a similar trend. Russian and Chinese vessels are conducting more and more joint patrols. Chinese icebreakers and research vessels are in Arctic waters, and their research is not for peaceful purposes. It's to gain a military advantage. Russia, meanwhile, continues testing advanced capabilities in the Barents Sea. As new shipping routes emerge and new resources are discovered, the Arctic only grows in strategic importance. And all of this comes in the midst of an increasing hybrid threat: airspace violations, GPS and GNSS interference, and the shadow fleet in the Baltic Sea threatening underwater infrastructure. In short, the Arctic and Northern Europe by extension has become a front line for strategic competition.
And then in that same event, again, back in January of 2026, Grinkowicz, who just issued this warning, was talking about trying to do his best to make sure that the U.S. had a readiness posture. And so the fact that he's now saying July 31st, August 1st, August 2nd, that the U.S. no longer has an ability to project a readiness posture, when he said this was his main focus as the Allied Commander Europe of NATO back in January, it shows you how disastrous this all is. Here, play this clip.
Well, I won't comment on the political dimensions of recent rhetoric. It's not my place to do that as a military officer. But I will just observe the readout from the North Atlantic Council, where all of our permanent representatives from the 32 nations get together to discuss thorny issues. Those dialogues continue in Brussels. They've been healthy dialogues from what I've heard. And I think that's the most important thing. Members of the alliance who've worked together for so many years are talking together and working through these thorny issues.
You have this role for about 6 months now. Has your priorities in any way changed?
Is it only 6 months?
Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way.
No. It's actually been truly a fantastic 6 months. One of the best jobs that exists on the planet, in my view, and I've truly enjoyed it. My priorities have been pretty consistent. I've got several of them. One is, of course, I'm focused on taking care of our people, your people, that you contribute to the alliance and to our missions. They are the bread and butter.
See, dumb motherfuckers like you who are not at war, talking about America is fine, No, the fuck they're not just fine. You just stupid. And you don't understand how this shit works. If the people who are fucking experts in this military shit are telling you, why the fuck would I believe a doofus in the comment section over a military professional? Man, get the fuck out of here.
Of what we do.
That's why y'all got a fucking failed businessman as a fucking president.
Every single day. And Michael Clausen and I actually got an opportunity to go see some of the Swedish troops yesterday. Swedish Marines who, some of the most impressive young women and men that I've seen in uniform throughout my almost 33 years of service. So you all ought to be incredibly proud of what those young people are doing for your country and for the alliance. So we need to take care of them. We need to focus on them, get them the equipment and the capabilities that they need. My second focus is warfighting readiness.
Right now in the chat, if you believe America is fucked as far as this war, type 1 in the chat. You think America's just fine, type 2.
The alliance is ready to fight tonight, but we need to continue to hone our readiness and be more and more ready every single day. That's headquarters readiness, making sure we have the processes and capabilities in place to do the things we need to do. It's also individual unit level readiness. Michael's focused on that here in Sweden. All of the chiefs of defense are, and I am as well. And it's by being ready that we continue to maintain that deterrence.
And again, just to remind you of Grinkowicz as well, back on March 12th, Grinkowicz admitted right away to the war crimes the United States committed in Manab when...
Again, if you think America is fucked in this war, type 1. If you think America is just fine, type 2.
Trump and Hegseth and the band of war criminals slaughtered the little girls at the Manab Elementary School. Grinkowicz took accountability right away. It's why when he's out there going public and saying we don't have Navy destroyers right now, adding on top of the fact that we don't have THAAD interceptors and PAC-3 interceptors, and going on to say that the issues also have to deal with maintenance issues, and we're stretched by...
I ain't seen 1, 2 yet.
...operations in the Red Sea, the Mediterranean Sea, in addition to Iran. He's saying how dire it is. Listen to what he said about the Manab war crimes. Here, play this clip.
Over the course of my career, I've as a fighter pilot, I've always done everything I can to avoid civilian harm and civilian casualties. And I would tell you, I'm absolutely committed to that. I know the department is committed to that. And that when tragedies like this happen, it causes us all to reflect and try to improve our processes. I've been involved in the targeting process, both at the tactical and the operational levels throughout my career. And I would tell you, we do have a number of safeguards in the system. You know, every single time that at the tactical level, I was going to release a weapon on a target, I was personally making an assessment as to whether there was any chance of civilian harm. And if there was that proportional to the military necessity of striking the target? At the operational level, both from my time in U.S. Central Command previously and then now at U.S. European Command, I can assure you that we have robust standards that we go through and look to see and update the imagery and update our understanding of the target and refresh the intelligence on a recurring basis to determine the chances of civilian harm and to address any collateral concerns that might be there. So you just know I'm absolutely committed to trying to mitigate that risk.
I appreciate your testimony. I'm highly concerned, however, that Secretary Hegseth does not agree with you. Secretary Hegseth has criticized rules of engagement designed to adhere to the laws of armed conflict and support civilian harm mitigation. Secretary Hegseth has also cut the Civilian Protection Center of Excellence by about 90%.
Now, at the same time, he's giving these warnings. The Pentagon also is further attacking Ukraine and attacking the U.S. leadership in NATO to help Ukraine. As you know, Donald Trump did the ultimate rug pull to Zelensky, promising Zelensky Patriot interceptor licenses and Patriot interceptors, but definitely licenses back during the NATO summit in Turkey. And then this past 48 hours, Trump's like, nah, I'm not going to give it to you anymore. So Trump tapped Zelensky along for a full month, let Putin build up his ballistics. Zelensky was promised these interceptors or the licenses. He needed them heading into the winter. And now Donald Trump's like, gotcha. Screwed you over. I believe that was all part of it. I'm giving you my opinion with Trump's plans with Putin. But the Pentagon is now handing leadership of NATO's Ukraine Military Aid Coordination Group to a European ally. They're going to move it away from Grinkovich as well, marking another step in the Trump administration's effort to reduce the U.S. military role in Europe. This also comes at the same time that the Wall Street Journal reports China is rapidly closing the satellite gap with the U.S., expanding its surveillance, navigation, and military space capabilities. Its growing satellite network improves intelligence gathering, precision targeting, and tracking of U.S. forces, while advances in GPS alternatives, AI analysis, and anti-satellite weapons are raising concerns that Beijing could increasingly challenge U.S. military dominance in space. And you've got people like Grinkowicz warning about all of this. Meanwhile, you even have state regime media saying the Pentagon is confronting a growing reality. This is from Fox. This is Fox. The Pentagon is confronting a growing reality after months of fighting in Iran. America's stockpile of missile defense interceptors is shrinking so much that military planners are weighing whether they can continue the current cycle of limited retaliatory strikes. Iran's strategy appears to be targeting U.S. bases, forcing the U.S. to deplete its advanced missile defense interceptors, such as Patriot and THAAD systems, and compelling the Pentagon to accept greater risk in defending U.S. troops as the conflict drags on. Iran appears to believe this is its best hope of outlasting the U.S. military. So Iran, over the past several days, while Donald Trump's saying, I'm going to blow the effing S out of them, Iran's like, do it. Blow the effing S out of us. Deplete more of your interceptors. And Iran will shoot at various U.S. bases. Often the Mufaq Salti base in Jordan, but also the bases in Kuwait, areas in Kuwait as well. Make the U.S. launch a few of its interceptors. The U.S. basically has depleted its interceptors, exposed that the U.S. Arab Dome has been eliminated, and now Iran knows that the Navy destroyer capabilities are gone as well. And by the way, we've been saying this for a long time, and now Fox is finally reporting it. But let's remember, what did Hegseth say March 5th, 2026? And you know when Hegseth says something, he's lying. How do you know he's lying? He opens up his mouth. Here's what Hegseth said March 5th, 2026. Let's play it.
We've got no shortage of munitions. Our stockpiles of defensive and offensive.
You wish this shit was propaganda. And I don't know why the hell you give a fuck. It ain't like nobody knows you or gives a fuck about you or your little weak-ass ego. Propaganda. Ain't nobody got time for no fucking propaganda. This shit is real shit, and the independent media is reporting it because the goddamn mainstream media ain't. So sit your waffle bag ass down and have a seat. Shut the fuck up. We don't need you interrupting shit.
Weapons allow us to sustain this campaign as long as we need to. Again, our munition status only increases as our advantage increases.
But then February 5th of 2025, Hegseth was bragging how he was giving these interceptor capabilities to Israel while sitting across from Netanyahu. Let's play it.
We've supplied munitions that were previously not supplied, that are useful in eradicating radical enemies, and we are committed to continue to do so.
March 4th, 2026, you had General Dan Kane, the 3-star general who's now the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, who was not qualified to become the chairman of the Joint Chiefs because he was not a 4-star with the requisite combat experience. But because Hegseth is a racist and Trump is a racist, they fired C.Q. Brown Jr., the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, who, by the way, Trump elevated to a top position back in Trump's first administration. Biden elevated him to the position of chairman of the Joint Chiefs. He was a qualified four-star, and then they fired him, pushed him out to have the unqualified Dan Kane because he had a nickname Raisin and he's white, and they had to give him a waiver because he wasn't qualified. Let's play this clip.
The throttle is coming up, as the secretary said, as opposed to ramping down. This will allow us to maintain consistent pressure on the adversary over the coming days, disrupt their launch timelines, and impose cost every day around the clock. I know there have been a lot of questions about munitions. We have sufficient precision munitions for the task at hand, both on the offense and defense. But I want to tell you, teammates, as a matter of practice, I don't want to be talking about quantities. And I know there's been a great debate about that, and I appreciate the interest, but just know that we consider that an operational security
MAGA runs the fucking trailer park.
matter.
And to remind you as well, when Senator Mark Kelly questioned Hegseth back on April 30th, 2026, this was April of 2026, okay? Now we're post-MOU. We've had the re-escalation of the catastrophic war. And so as bad and dire as things were, when Mark Kelly, Senator Kelly, was questioning Hegseth here, imagine this scenario times 10 times worse where we are right now. And we've literally run out of weapons. And you have a top general saying we've run out of weapons. Let's play this clip.
Okay, how many years to replenish? That's the question.
I think that's exactly the right question too, Senator, because the time frame we were existing under was unacceptable.
Okay, well,
and
tell
what this
me,
budget does, months and years, fast.
Years.
I mean, we're building new plants in real time.
So just to replace what we have expended.
I said months.
And then you said years.
Both, it depends on the weapon system, but 2 to 3, 4x of what we have today. So
Okay.
yes, we're dealing with the reality under the previous administration of what they sent to Ukraine and what they allocated elsewhere.
Okay, I got it. So
And
we
we're
fired
rapidly doing
years
it quickly.
worth of munitions. And it is clear that these are being expended to try to achieve some objectives. That was the plan. But Mr. Secretary, this war is stuck.
And so, again, as a result of the U.S. running out of these interceptors, Iran's been able to strike these U.S. bases in the region with impunity. They're able to hit it hard. And we've been following with the surveillance for the satellite footage, all of the areas that they've been able to hit. You had, again, MBS and MBS's brother calling Trump, "You're out of missiles. What are you doing? You've exposed all of our nations. There's no Arab Dome. All of the security interceptors and all of the security benefits you promised us for our quid pro quos have been thrown out the window. You look like a loser." And now Iran has its ballistic missiles and Shaheeds. They're going to strike our energy infrastructure if you start to bomb their energy infrastructure. And you can't protect us anymore, Donald. You're utterly pathetic. By the way, China's moving in now and going to offer a security umbrella to the Middle East in the absence of the United States. Then Donald Trump announced, "I've agreed for the future benefit of the world and likewise the survival of a successful and prosperous Iran that we're going to we've come up with the perimeters of a deal." He goes, "Did you mean the parameters?" "The perimeter of a deal," he says. "So I'm not going to bomb Iran and blow the effing S out of them as he's previously threatened." Serious developments, folks. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching. A top U.S. military general is going public with a...
Okay, so I need to vent for a second. I'm white. Surprise! This is how white I am. Here's what my ancestry DNA shows. I couldn't be any whiter. My name is Chris, and if I've never graced your FYP page before, hi. It's nice to meet you. There's so much division among so many lines now that it makes it really hard to make content that appeals to everyone. But I love history, all of history. I love to learn and grow, and I'm fascinated with history, and I feel like the videos that I make reflect that. I love stories that inspire, excite, sadden, and educate. I love stories that make you feel something when you hear them. I just recently had a video that blew up about Fannie Lou Hamer and her part in the fight for civil rights. Her story is heart-wrenching and awful, as are millions of stories from Black history. I wanted to share her story so that stories like hers don't get forgotten. Those who don't learn from history, well, you know the thing. The response to that story has been absolutely incredible. So many people have thanked me for just highlighting such an incredible woman and her story of bravery and fortitude in the face of unimaginable horror. I'm so glad that it has touched and motivated so many. It's a story that inspires me to want to be better and to do better and act better. And yet, I've had some really nasty comments that because of the color of my skin, I have no right to tell this story. I have no right to educate about Black history. I've had thousands and thousands of comments thanking me for bringing the stories back into the light for all to learn from. And that's what it should be about, right? No matter who you are, if you care about human beings, if you care about suffering and injustice, you can share the stories. You can change the world one mind at a time. And I think, well, for better or for worse, that's what we need to do right now. Unite, work together, not divide and silo and gatekeep information. Black history, white history, women's history, Latino history, Asian history, it's all history. And, well, like I said before, those who don't learn from it are doomed to repeat it. So bring all the stories into light for all of us to see. I feel like that's my duty as a human. Thanks. Rant over. Have a good day. Okay, so I need to vent for a second. I'm white. Surprise! This is how white I am. Here's what my ancestry DNA shows. I couldn't be any whiter. My name is Chris, and if I've never graced your FYP page before, hi. It's nice to meet you. There's so much division among so many lines now that it makes it really hard to make content that appeals to everyone. But I love history, all of history. I love to learn and grow, and I'm fascinated with history, and I feel like the videos that I make reflect that. I love stories that inspire, excite, sadden, and educate. I love stories that make you feel something when you hear them. I just recently had a video that blew up about Fannie Lou Hamer and her part in the fight.
If the game you're playing right now...
Y'all look at this. No. Every one of y'all out there are built like an iPhone. And y'all, get out of that deadgum parking lot and go pet a wild animal. Put a sweater on it, take it home, and aim at Ben. Do something you're normal to. On it, take it home, and aim at Ben. Do something you're normal to. Y'all are putting evidence out there we can't get back. Y'all are moving around like a wind chime in a tornado. Get back. Y'all are moving around like a wind chime in a tornado. Get out of that deadgum parking lot and go do something. What in the Caucasian is going on? It looks like you got a bunch of friends that have a stroke together. Y'all keep putting evidence out there we can't get back. That's a whole group, a whole herd of Caucasians out there that looks like y'all got into something y'all shouldn't have. Rubbing on my body. Boy, I ain't. Walk with them, Lord. Get out of the parking lot. Go talk to a manager or something. Get out of the parking lot and go back into y'all's natural habitat. An HOA. They got my left nipple hurting. Focus on my face. Y'all look at this. No.
Boy, this Trump administration has been giving them folks their N-word wake-up call. And the reason why I say that is because, for years, they always had all these little slick things to say about us. When we talked about the economy, when we talked about rent, gas, food prices, how bad the food is in the community, about hospitals, doctors, anything you could think of in this country, we talked about it. We warned about it. We pleaded with all these different groups, especially the folks. And now they in the thick of it, Now they complaining and crying every single day on the internet. And I'm sorry, I have no...
How's y'all Trump coin doing?
sympathy at all in my body for any of them. Why? Because I remember what they told our people. Now let's go ahead and play what Connor has to say here. And he said he's going to say something that really sparked my interest of why I wanted to do this video. Let's go ahead and check this out.
You know, I just don't understand why the younger generation is just so angry all the time, man. You know, they're so anxious, they're so depressed, none of them have motivation to do anything. All of them are on some form of SSRI for anxiety and depression, and I just don't get it. I just don't understand. Why are they so angry?
If it hasn't already become blatantly obvious, let me try to hold your hand through this. The reason why we are so angry is because we were lied to by y'all. My generation and the generation before me were lied to by...
Robert, shut the fuck up.
y'all. Told if we just go to school, if we just get a good education, if we just work hard, everything in life will come to us. We'll have everything in life just handed to us as long as we work hard. Everything in this country sucks. Everything in this country is a scam. Taxes are a scam. Voting is a scam. Student loans is a scam. Insurance is a scam. Everything is a scam, and it sucks. All of it.
So let me ask you this, Bingo. So you basically saying since Kamala stole 1.4 billion, you're cool with Trump stealing? Is that what you're trying to say? Even though I don't believe she stole no fucking 1.4 billion. Y'all motherfuckers just be coming up with shit to talk about and make that shit up. But real shit. Is that saying that it's okay for Trump to steal because she stole something? Because we say something about Trump stealing and y'all bring up somebody else stealing. Like, who gives a fuck? Y'all the weirdest motherfucking people I know. Weird. Motherfucker bring up pedophiles, y'all bring up what party they belong to. I don't give a fuck about what party they belong to. What jail them bitches going to?
All of it. That's why we're angry. When it's $100 just to walk out of my front door, that's why we're angry. When there's nobody standing next to the gas pump that's nice enough to spit on it before I get just trying to get gas in my car, that's why we're angry. When people are dropping $70 to $100 on 2 or 3 bags of groceries, that's why we're angry. When rent keeps going up, but nobody can afford it, that's why we're angry. When in the past 7 years, the average house has gone from $250,000 to $480,000, that's why we're mad. When people are ending up in lifelong debt just to try to get an education, just to get a degree that they can't even use, that's why we're mad.
So you were told if you just get a degree, get an education, work hard, everything was going to be handed to you. That was something to be told. And I really get why you're angry. Oh, I get it, because we as black folks have never been told just
right. It's a million fucking reasons why the motherfucker stealing money for his motherfucking self. He got his sons working all these fucking government jobs. The motherfucker trying to give money to the fucking January 6ers. Spending all this fucking money on a ballroom, spending all this money on a water fountain, or a fucking a reflection pool, spending a bunch of money on dumb shit. And that ain't none of the shit that nobody else said. That's 5 different things.
Get a job, work hard, and everything will be handed to you. No, we were never told that. Y'all had a good run. You had a good run, and what you're angry about is that you can't participate and partake in a life that maybe your parents and grandparents got to partake in. A lot of you feel that that life with everything being handed to you is your birthright. And yet that was never a birthright for Black Americans. Now you have to struggle. Now you have to work 2-3 jobs. Now you have to cut back on what you're eating sometimes to be able to afford groceries. Now you may not be able to go out and do certain things because you're trying to save money for gas. Now you may not be able to go buy some clothes for a long while because any extra clothes, any extra you got, it needs to go toward your rent or your car note or whatever you have going on. And God forbid you become sick for any reason. Now you have to weigh, should I go to the doctor or the hospital? Maybe I can just get a bill and just pay it to save money. Yes, you're in that position now. You're in the same position that people in your community forcefully made Black people be in. When Black people told you about all these issues and problems, you didn't say, you know what? Let's come together and let's fix that. No, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm good. You just lazy. Well, I guess you're the lazy one now. And I want y'all to notice something. All that crying they be doing now, they are crying online. I'm telling y'all. Every day I look up, they making videos crying about this economy, crying they can't afford anything. I don't see Black people making crying about that. Man, please. We know how to navigate in this system. We know. The thing is, y'all have built us to know how to navigate the hard times. That's everyday things that we have to deal with. We know how to go without. We know how to curb spending. We know how to cook to save money. Oh, we know. Trust me, we know. But y'all, on the other hand, you never had to be put in that position like you are now. And this is why you're losing it. You're losing it. You're saying that y'all taking mental health, medications and things like that because you just can't deal with it. Well, let me tell you something. It's going to get even worse on you. But when it comes to us as Black Americans, we're going to actually thrive in it. And that's the part that's going to freak you out. You're going to be struggling so much, you're going to say, how is it that those Black Americans, how is it they thriving in the middle of this? How they're doing it? I don't get it. I'm losing my mind, and yet they are just the happiest people ever. Yeah. That's going to be us. Because this is nothing but a walk in the park. You see, and I'm not talking about him in particular in this video. We talk about his community. Their collective racism is the reason why we're experiencing this. Or they experiencing this. If they wasn't collectively racist, there are so many, he would have free health care right now. He wouldn't have to worry about health care. But because they didn't want us to have health care, now he's going to have to suffer without having health insurance. You understand what I'm saying? It's so many different things that universal child care. They don't want us to get it. You know what I'm saying? Everything they'll do, they will hurt themselves just to make sure we don't get something. Then when they suffering something, they want to cry. Oh, what you crying for? That's what you wanted. You wanted this. We could have had so many great safety net programs just for times like this, but no, your racism prevented it. And I give you all this, you dedicated to racism. Oh, I'll give it to you. But racism would be your unraveling.
MAGA, y'all ain't run out of slogans yet. Trump 2028. Bitch Obama 2028. Now what you gonna do? Lose. You know that's a battle you can't win. Trump will fucking, we might have to go check on that motherfucker if he lose to Obama. That would be funny as shit.
It won't be ours, it'll be yours. And my grandfather always said, be careful digging a ditch for other people because you're going to fall right in the ditch you're digging for somebody else. It's going to swallow you up.
You bitches wish Obama nuts is like a motherfucking umbrella to you. Because you up under his nuts right now. Obama is that man that everybody respect. He the motherfucker that when he stand up, everybody gonna cheer. When Trump stand up, everybody gonna boo. Except for his minions.
And that's what's happening. Y'all racism is starting to swallow you up. You did all that sabotage and mess for us as black people, and you are dealing with the same thing that you meant for us. But you know, when God's on your side, God will turn everything around for your good, even the calamity, even the chaos. And that doesn't bother. Listen, like I said, I don't want to hear all the crying. Nope. Don't want to hear it. We as black Americans told y'all for so long, and you didn't want to listen to us. But I just can't believe he's gonna walk around here saying, "Oh, you told us, this, and everything will be handed to." Man, that's crazy. Just to even hear somebody say that is crazy. No, you gotta work hard, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That's what you gotta do. Stop complaining. Stop being a victim. You're just being victim. All you're doing is whining and being a victim. Stop being a victim, sir. Stop being a victim. That's all you want to do is just whining online and being a victim. Don't do that. Instead of whining, go to work. Right? That's the same speech you told us. I was telling you the same advice you gave us. I'm going to give you. Go to work. That's it. That is the deal. Just go to work. Maybe if y'all just wasn't, acting so racist, maybe we wouldn't have these problems today. Just maybe. But anyway, long story short, it's only going to get worse, sir. It's not going to get no better. And what are you going to do? Are you going to figure out ways to adapt? Are you going to cry, whine, and everything else? We'll be watching. Of course, we'll be watching. But as black Americans, trust me, this is a good thing. All this mess going on is great for us because we have been built for a time like this.
Okay, here's my secret to how I take my money to the next level. I use Robinhood to trade crypto, stocks, and more, all in one app. Trade crypto with Robinhood today.
Boy, this Trump administration has been giving them folks their N-word wake-up call. And the reason why I say that is because, for years, they always had all these little slick things to say about us. When we talked about the economy, when we talked about rent, gas, food prices, how bad the food is in the community, about hospitals, doctors, anything you could think of in this country, we talked about it. We warned about it. We pleaded with all these different groups, especially the folks. And now they in the thick of it. Now they complaining and crying every single day.
You always lose in the casino. You always lose.
The MAGA movement is dead. Burn your MAGA flags. Burn your MAGA hats. That is.
Oh my God.
It's exactly what former MAGA people are doing right now. And this is what it looks like right here. Donald Trump is panicking as MAGA Republicans are saying bye-bye. You betrayed MAGA. Now MAGA is engaged in a mass exodus away from Donald Trump. I'll share with you this MAGA Republican, a lifelong Republican Trump voter, and he watched as his wife was deported. Her name was Jasmine by Trump's ICE and Border Patrol Gestapo, and now he is crying on TV saying, "Where'd my Jasmine go?" You supported this, and now he's no longer MAGA. Play this clip.
Love Jasmine. That's it.
Now, there were primaries yesterday. Various
Yeah, Robert, you ain't said shit. Nothing you said. You didn't say no policies that you loved about Trump. And you just hating and in your feelings. I know you turning red over that motherfucker. And I know good and goddamn well that a lot of this shit we talking is pissing you off. But you on dummy time over that joint.
States throughout the country. Also, you had MS Now just catching up with voters, former MAGA Republicans, former Trump supporters. Like this guy right here, he was asked a number of questions about Donald Trump lying to MAGA in Ohio, Donald Trump betraying the voters, and Trump promising we were going to do this for you, that for you. And the MS Now host was asking these MAGA voters, so what do you think about Donald Trump giving him and his family tax immunity? Do you like that? That they're not paying taxes because Trump files frivolous lawsuits against the federal government for $10 billion while whining like the little pathetic coward weasel that he is? Let's watch this. Here, play this clip.
President Trump promised no new foreign wars. He promised to bring down prices. Both of those things aren't happening right now. How are you feeling about your support for him?
He's just a man with money, and therefore it makes him powerful. Money talks louder than, honestly, a whole group of people, sadly. But my view of him went down. I'm not a big fan anymore.
Why?
Like I said, he's got money, so he thinks he's got all the power. He thinks he can make the decisions of going to war, and he doesn't feel the repercussion because of it. We do.
Does the war feel worth it?
I mean, at this point, no. But I mean, it's not going to stop. So.
Is, there any benefit to your life because of this war?
No, not really. Gas prices go up. Store prices go up. Everything goes up.
President Trump is also pushing so that his family is immune from IRS tax audits. They can't be audited. It looks like it may go forward.
Yeah, no. That, pardon my language. No. What? That's not cool. How does he get to do that and we don't? Like, no. No. That's all I got to say.
More Ohio Trump voters, former MAGA voters saying, bye-bye, you pathetic thing, you frickin' liar. Here, play this clip.
What does it feel like to be living in these conditions right now, in these economic conditions right now?
Hurt, very hurt. I try to do, sorry, I cry. I try to do a lot for my kids, and I can't do much.
If you could send a message to the president right now, what would you tell him?
He needs to look out for the American people instead of himself. Put us first.
Does America feel great again?
I just want to know why y'all motherfucking racist ass bitches classify people as Democrats or Republicans. I just want to know that. Why is that your first thing to speak on, whether or not somebody's a Democrat or a Republican? Because don't none of that shit mean nothing. It's not even fucking real. Either you a piece of shit or you a person that got some type of humility, a person that got some morals, But we can clearly see who the fucking dirtbags are. And it's the people who don't got no fucking morals. It's the people who are bloodthirsty for their party and people that look like them and got fucked up thinking ways like them and insecure as a bitch. Them motherfuckers. And they on both sides. Don't get it twisted. But we know that the right is more willing to spew their disdain for shit that they don't like. Because they some weak-ass motherfuckers.
No, not at all.
Let's go back to that guy who was crying, John Gannon on CBS, 75-year-old from Texas, lifelong Republican, Trump voter. He says he regrets his decision because now ICE and Border Patrol took away his wife. Here, play this clip.
I voted for Trump. I am saying that they are picking up law-abiding citizens. They're destroying families, jobs.
John Gannon is a 75-year-old businessman and lifelong Republican who supported President Trump in 2024.
I wouldn't do that again. Not after this fiasco.
His fiancée, 45-year-old Venezuelan immigrant Yasmin Suarez Reyes, was detained by ICE at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston in late July.
8 ICE agents swarmed Jasmine and detained her, didn't tell us why, and rustled her off into a car.
How about this ex-MAGA Trump supporter? I showed you the B-roll at the front as he's burning the MAGA flag, burning the Trump flag, burning the MAGA hat. Here, play this clip.
Here's what I think of you and your corrupt crew of sycophants.
Meanwhile, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene posting this photo with Thomas Massey, with Joe Kent, with Tucker Carlson, with others there in this room. These are not just MAGA people. These were the MAGA lieutenants. These were the people who were leading Trump's MAGA movement. And they are saying, we said no more foreign wars and we meant it, and supported Trump because he made that promise. He has betrayed us all. Our commitment is America first for all Americans, right, left, and center. The movement has begun. And Donald Trump destroying his MAGA base, Trump hitting new lows in his polling. Why don't we stay in Texas for a moment over here, where retired Republican County Judge Glenn Whitley just endorsed James Tallarico for U.S. Senate. He says how ashamed he is that Ken Paxton is even on the ballot. Play this clip.
But I'm going to have to tell you right now, as a Texan, I am ashamed of the fact that Ken Paxton is even on the ballot. I believe him to be the most corrupt politician that Texas has ever seen. I picked up the paper this morning and read it, and I saw that in Allen last night he said, I'm excited to educate people about my record over the last 20-something years. Well, let me help him. He has avoided trial on securities fraud charges. He agreed to pay whistleblowers to resolve claims that they had. He was impeached by the members of his own party on allegations of bribery and abuse of office. His divorce proceedings have also received widespread publicity. Somehow he has managed to become a multi-millionaire while serving in public office. Now, he reportedly owns, I think, some 15 homes across this state and this country. No wonder he can't figure out where to vote. Finally, if character, if integrity, and if accountability matters to you, and if having someone who will work for Texas and not for himself, then we must elect James Tallarico in November.
And let me interrupt for just a moment with some big news. I got good news.
Have you ever watched a Senate hearing where the accusations were so explosive?
Moment with some big news. I got good news for you right now. Something pretty remarkable.
Now, Mike, I'm just going to remind you, if you don't know how to say the name, keep the name out your damn mouth. Or just call me Abdul. But I got some opinions about his name. See, it's very fitting for him. Rogers. Because that's his answer every time a corporation or Donald Trump tells him to do something. Mike, we need you to put a data center in the backyard. Roger. Mike, we need you to hike their prescription drug prices. Roger. Mike, we need you to rubber stamp this war we shouldn't be fighting. Roger. Mike, and this one's Donald Trump. I need you to lick these boots. Roger. And I think I speak for all of us here in Michigan when I say that we are done with Rogers. Go back to Florida where you belong.
Make no mistake, this is...
What up, though, Michigan Democrats?
What up, though?
They said Detroit was the right place to kick off this victory. I think they were right. Y'all, I'm so proud to be a Michigan Democrat. I'm so proud to stand tall for Michigan with all of our candidates here today. Can we give a hand to Ellie Savitt, our next Attorney General?
You're Hank, aren't you?
Michigan went blue with the fuck.
But this is not a FedEx package. There is a little girl that's very sick, and you're delivering her a new liver. If she doesn't get this today...
Can we give a hand to Jocelyn Benton, our next governor? Can we give a hand to Abdul El Sayed, our next United States Senator? I like Donovan McKinney. Our next Congressman, Donovan McKinney. What do all these people have in common? Michigan Democrats chose them.
Yep, and we also have revisions actually for June and other revisions. Lauren, you have those numbers.
Revisions for June, Maria, down by 37,000. May down by 66. Combined 103,000 fewer jobs created in the months of May and June, Maria.
Yeah. And that is all about the market reaction today is all about what this means for the Federal Reserve. Louis Naviler, how do you want to allocate capital in this environment where once again we're talking about Goldilocks, a Goldilocks macro story?
Yeah, the last I looked, FactSet was forecasting 47.4% annual earnings growth for the S&P this year, but that was before Palantir's blowout results. So we might hit 50% earnings growth on the S&P right now. That's unbelievable, and you just can't ignore all these good earnings.
Guys, you can't ignore these good earnings. Sure. Hundreds of thousands of Americans are out of work and people can't pay their bills. But good news, Palantir went up. You can't make this up. And that is literally just this morning as the bad news about losing jobs came out. The bad news about revisions down. Shocking. You saw it here a month ago and I said it's going to go down because it always does. The disconnect. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit in this opening because we have a great show today. I am really excited about our guests. And
Hegseth clashed with President Trump over the munition shortage that
to destroy the left, to try to take down DSA and democratic socialists and left-wing challengers. In fact, it's their words that they use. They say, moderate Democrats, they say, are preparing for war against the ascendant left. So incredibly disturbing stuff that we're talking about here. They even go on to talk about how they're going to use like astroturfed social media programs, which is very bizarre, because then you start thinking, wait a second, are they just going to buy like a bunch of bots to shit on left wingers? Because they probably will, to try to make it seem like we're not as popular as we are. Are they going to pay certain influencers to make the pro-corporate, pro-diet MAGA arguments? Because that's probably part of it too. But Adam Johnson made a great point about this. He said, why in the piece do they not talk about who funds Third Way? They made it seem like, oh, it's just an ideological disagreement and a philosophical disagreement and a policy disagreement. No, it's not just that. The reason why Third Way is how it is because they are funded entirely by pro-Israel billionaires, big pharma, big oil, big tobacco, Wall Street. It's all big money donors. It's the Epstein class. So how can you write this piece without saying this is not just an ideological disagreement? This is like the military-industrial complex and all these moneyed interests that want to keep the Democratic Party more right-wing. They want to have a Republican Party which does whatever they want, and they want to have a Democratic Party that does whatever they want. So that is why they're against universal health care and free college and a living wage and ending the wars and a Green New Deal and free child care and all these different things. They're against it not because they think it's bad policy. They're against it because they're paid to be against it. Yes, I'm sure there are also some people who are ideological as well. But this $15 million war chest, the reason that exists is because the Epstein class is funding it. Okay, the exact people we need to defeat are funding it. And so it's very disturbing that the media is not being accurate about what we're dealing with here in this war for the soul of the Democratic Party. And by the way, these are the people who lost to Trump multiple times. How about they go to shut the fuck upsville? Really, is the argument Hillary Clinton was DSA and that's why she lost? Kamala Harris was DSA and that's why she lost? Is that the argument? Please, spare me. All right, so we also have this. Axios says that GOP operatives apparently spent months compiling footage of Democratic figures, including left-wing commentator Hassan Piker, and they're going to use that throughout the Republican convention to paint Democrats as extremist. Okay? So organizers will particularly focus on Abdul El-Sayed, and they're also going to go after James Tallarico. But they think their best bet going after these people is to, find clips of people like me or people like Hassan or people like Jennifer Welch and highlight extreme things that we say and use it to try to paint them as, too far out of bounds, too wacky or whatever. Meanwhile, how is it that we're the wacky ones? How is it that Hassan's the wacky one when all he wants is universal health care? All he wants is free college. All he wants is a living wage and unions. All he wants is to end the wars and stop funding Israel to bomb kids. All he wants is free child care. That's all he wants. He wants a country that actually represents the American people, and you're going to, highlight him? No, the reason why Republicans are doing this is because they can't answer for what they've done. They can't answer for the fact that grocery prices are higher and gas prices are higher. They can't answer for the fact that people are losing health care and Trump has started multiple new wars. They can't answer for the fact that ICE is shoving people in concentration camps and ruining their lives. And so this is desperate. It is desperate. And I think it's going to fucking backfire. Okay. I think it's going to backfire. So I think Tallarico and Abdul are in a very, very good spot right now. And I think they know what to do with this. I think they know how to fight back against these smears. All right. Now back to disappointing Democrats. Governor Katie Hobbs of Arizona is the current sitting governor, and she's a Democrat. And she's set to announce John Giles, a moderate Republican, as her lieutenant governor and running mate. Katie, what are we doing? What are we doing, Katie? I mean, really, in this moment where the Republican brand has never fucking been more tarnished. They have never been more tarnished than this exact moment, bro. I mean, you're talking about Trump with a 30% approval rating. You're talking about every issue they're making worse. And you pick now to say, let me hold hands and sing Kumbaya with the party of fascists and terrorists and imperialists and con men and pedophiles and rapists. I'm sorry. You guys got to be more partisan. Democrats, wakey, be more partisan. It's okay when one side is fucking crazy to be like, these motherfuckers are crazy. No, I don't want a Republican to be on the Democratic ticket. Call me crazy, call me old-fashioned. I don't want that. Oh my God, bro. All right. Now, speaking of crazy, Trump gave a speech the other day, and in that speech, first of all, his hair, everybody saw his hair. I don't know what the fuck he did to it. Did he go to like some fabulous hairdresser who made that bitch look 20 times more voluminous? I don't know what he did, but that shit looked 20 times more voluminous, dog. And so a lot of people are saying it might be a wig. They think it might be a wig. I don't know, maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure, okay? I'm not here to litigate that. But what I am here to litigate is that as Trump is standing there looking like he's wearing a wig, barely coherent because his brain is failing him now, melting and leaking out of his ears, Trump said the following, quote, we're taking a lot of oil, he said. We're taking a lot of oil from Venezuela. Billions and billions of barrels of oil. To the victor belong the spoils. To the victor belong the spoils. So, never in my life did I think they would lay it out there this plain, right? Like, people like me used to get yelled at back in the day when I said George W. Bush went to war in Iraq for the oil. He went to go steal the oil. George W. Bush and Dick Cheney are evil motherfuckers. They don't care how many Iraqis they kill, and they're going there to steal the oil. When we used to say shit like that, people go, oh my God, you guys are crazy. You guys are insane. You guys are out of your mind. Now Trump just comes out and says that shit for us, bro. He just admits, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Give me a sec, I gotta let Phoebe in. So he just says the shit for us. Like, you know, here I am. I make all these long-ass arguments on the show, and, you know, I'm long-winded. I'm talking for hours a day trying to tell you guys what I think is going on. He just comes out and blurts that shit. He's like, Kyle's right about everything. I'm a fucking pirate. I'm a criminal. I'm a fascist. I'm a terrorist. I'm a war criminal. I'm genocidal. I'm a pedophile. I'm a rapist. I'm a con man. Like, he just comes out and blah, blah, blah. Verbal diarrhea. We're stealing the oil from a sovereign country, which we're not allowed to do, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to take the money. I love this idea. He says, like, oh, we're taking it. Bitch, who is we? What does that mean? Who's we? Who's that money going to? Well, we know the answer to that if you're paying attention. It ain't you. It ain't me. It ain't the American people. It ain't people who go to the gas pump and have to pay $4.40 a gallon right now, ski. Okay, it's not them. No, when he says we, he means him. Him and his Epstein class buddies. He has an account in Qatar that only he controls. It's a private slush fund. $13 billion is in that shit. And that's all the profit from the Venezuelan oil. I wish I was kidding. I'm not kidding, bro. That's what's going on. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. Is America great again yet? You fucking idiots who voted for him. Is America great again yet? Oh my God, man. What are we doing? Okay. Now, Dropsite News is reporting. This is horrifying. Israel has bombed and devastated Gaza's sewage and sanitation infrastructure and now deliberately blocks Palestinians from landfills, machinery, and essential supplies needed to contain the resulting public health catastrophe. So one of the consequences is a massive rat and pest infestation, with Palestinians, including children, being bitten in their sleep. 4 in 5 sewage pumping stations are not functioning, with some 40,000 cubic meters of untreated sewage flowing each day. By July, 60% of Gaza's population was living within 10 meters of sewage or human waste, and more than 900,000 people were exposed to garbage accumulating in residential areas, according to the UN. Rodents or pests were reported at 81% of displacement sites surveyed in April, affecting roughly 1.45 million Gazans, Palestinians. Ladies and gentlemen, you do know what they're doing here, right? They're trying to speed up the process of genocide and ethnic cleansing by making it so that these places are going to have all sorts of ancient fucking illnesses and viruses and diseases. They don't want everybody who gets murdered in Palestine to be murdered because of a bomb or a missile or a drone or a bullet. They want a bunch of them to die because of illnesses they gave them on fucking purpose. That's what this is. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. Jesus Christ, man. How is it we're still witnessing, like, the crimes of the fucking Israeli terror state? And we fund them. We arm them. We're paying for this shit. This is what my tax dollars are going towards. Nah, man, I can never fucking forgive this. I could never. The correct position that every single Democrat should take, not a penny more to Israel, Not a dollar, not a penny, not a nickel, not a dime, not nothing. No weapons, no money, and we need to arrest the entire fucking criminal government. Period. End of discussion. That's what we need to do. Arrest the motherfuckers. Don't give them another penny. Even if they come out and say, we're done with this. We're not going to do this anymore. We're going to do a two-state solution immediately. Even then, I would say, fuck you. You don't get money and you don't get weapons. Why? Because you don't arm and fund Nazis. Period. Full stop. And it's not like, if the Nazis act 7% better, I'll give them money and weapons. No, fuck the Nazis and fuck the IDF. Okay? Jesus Christ, man. This is so crazy. This is so crazy. It's like the types of hell that they're creating on this earth are just mind-boggling. Things no normal person would ever think of, right? Just like the right to rape protest that they did there. No normal person would ever think of that. No normal person would think of shooting somebody waving a white flag as the IDF does regularly. None of them would think about bombing World Central Kitchen workers or UN workers or starving an entire population or shooting kids in the face or, having Gaza be the capital of the world for child amputations, and they don't even have anesthesia to give the kids when they're amputating an arm or a leg. This is hell on earth, and we've created it. Oh my God. Either you have a moral conscience, a moral core, or you don't, okay? Pick a fucking side to every Democrat out there. It's very simple. We know where all the Republicans stand. They're all terrorists and fascists and demons. We know that. Where do you stand if you're a Democrat? Where do you stand on this shit? Jesus Christ. And by the way, watch nobody even bring it up. Even the better Democrats, which I'm not trying to throw shade at them in any way, shape, or form here, but even them, I highly doubt you're going to name whatever member of Congress that's actually half decent. Are they going to come out and talk about how we have a sewage crisis now in Gaza being done on purpose by Israel that's trying to give people diseases and kill them? Are they going to say that? I don't think so. I think you're only going to hear about that here and from fucking Drop Site News. Shout out to them for doing the work on that. Jesus Christ.
Join the world's #1 RPG game. Download now.
I do have some good news for you, though. So we have a new House poll that just came out for Florida's 25th district, and this is an internal Oliver Larkin poll. Now, Oliver Larkin is fucking badass. He's such a gangster. This is the guy. He was in the Progressive Victory, rally that we did, like virtual rally that we did. I was on that shit. He was on that shit. He's an awesome, awesome candidate. And he's the guy who just went mega viral because he went on Fox News. And in the Lion's Den, when a Fox host was trying to press him on immigrant rapists, Oliver Larkin snapped and said, basically, the president of the United States who you support is a pedophile. So if you want to go after rapists and pedophiles, start with the guy in the White House. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said. Okay, so when that moment came out, it went gangbusters, and he started raising tremendous amounts of money for his seat. So he's been doing all the media he could do, trying to get his name out there as much as humanly possible. An internal poll just came out. Now, previously, he was down 20 points, 30 points, double digits across the board to this guy, Jared Moskowitz, this diet MAGA Democrat, this pro-Israel Democrat, a guy who describes himself as a Ron DeSantis Democrat. I'm not kidding. He actually said that. He also supports Trump's illegal war against Iran. Okay, he's also in favor of the genocide. Horrible, horrible Democrat, not a real Democrat, a diet MAGA Democrat. So Larkin's running against him in the primary. He was down 20, 30 points. New poll just came out. Larkin is only down 2 to Jared Moskowitz. Ladies and gentlemen, you better go donate to Oliver Larkin right this motherfucking second. Go to Act Blue, donate to Oliver Larkin right this motherfucking second. While you're there, donate to Poindexter as well, who's running against Max Miller, who's the domestic abuser, and the guy who, assaulted his own daughter, broke her collarbone, stole her little blue bunny that she can't sleep without, the guy who shoved a woman down the flight of stairs with 3 other witnesses, and he's still somehow going on CNN and pretending like he's a fucking angel when everybody knows he's a devil. Okay? We got to get him across the finish line. This would send a message like nobody's business, bro. This would send a message like nobody's business. That, I'm sorry, you can't be a pro-genocide Democrat. You can't be a Ron DeSantis Democrat. You can't do it. Not in 2020, not in 2026, not in 2027, not in 2028, not from now until the end of time. I'm old school. I think Democrats should actually be Democrats. Call me crazy. I think Democrats should actually be Democrats. I think they should stand for left-wing values. I think we should be the opposite of MAGA in every way, shape, and form. I don't believe in fighting MAGA by being diet MAGA, by meeting them halfway. If those motherfuckers are crazy and we're meeting them halfway, what does that make us? It makes us half crazy. So, time to wake up. Oliver Larkin, pull it off, bro. I really hope he can pull it off. Everybody go support him. Do whatever you can to try to get him across the finish line. If you're listening from Florida's 25th district, go vote for him. It's going to be incredible, man. If he can topple Moskowitz, it's going to be incredible. And by the way, I will say, it's a tough district. It really is for him. Because there's a lot of old, wealthy Zionists in that district. And that's like the one group of voters who are still in the Democratic tent and just like rabidly pro-Israel. And they're, he's running an explicitly anti-genocide campaign and they don't like that. Okay? But go get him across the finish line, y'all. All right. Now, how about this? This is Ryan Grimm has been on this beat for a while now, and this just came to my attention, but this is astonishing stuff here. Apparently, there's a bunch of states where you have these Green Party candidates who are like going through the minimal process to get on the ballot to run for Congress. Now, here's the thing. You ready for this? Apparently, it's been proven that a lot of these people are not actual lefties and they're not actual Green Party members. What they are is Republicans running an op. That's what it is. So Ryan Grimm says this Green Party Republican's only donation history is to Republicans. Pretty sure in Florida someone was convicted of a crime for this kind of thing. So basically, it's fraud. Basically, it's fraud. And Ryan Grimm has been covering this. Looks like another Republican plant grabbing a Green Party line. This one to take out Will Lawrence in Michigan 7. So that's the guy who co-founded the Sunrise Movement. He won his primary. Now it looks like a Republican is going to run as a Green Party member. And the idea is, let's try to, strip left-wing votes away from Will Lawrence. Okay? And Ryan Grimm says, watch this Green run against data centers so that he can elect the Republican who'll green light the data centers. So that's their trick. So you got these Republicans who are running as Green Party members, as they're really secret Republicans. And what they do is they run against data centers and to try to take the wind out of the sail of the Democrats and then make it so that the Republican gets across the finish line, and then when they get in there, they'll be wildly pro-data center. So it's a fucking ruse. It's an op. Again, I don't know how this isn't illegal in all states. Maybe it is illegal in all states. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. But it should be. This is just fraud. This is absolute fraud. This would be the equivalent. And by the way, if they're going to do this, I would say Democrats should do this. I would say you should have people who are left-wing, people who are Democrats, decide to run as libertarians in some of these states and try to take the wind out of the sails of the Republican candidates and strip 2 to 5% of the vote from them. Look, it's the only way that, if they're going to cheat, in order to make it more equal, we need to cheat. If they cheat, we got to counter cheat to make it even Stevens. That's the only thing that's fair. I'm in favor of fairness. So if y'all want to stop fucking cheating, we won't cheat over here either. But if y'all going to fucking cheat, we're going to make it even Stevens by counter cheating. So libertarians should run, secret Democrats should run as libertarians to get them back for this. But this is disgusting. And by the way, we're at the point now where, stop and think about this. As somebody who I used to vote for Green Party candidates every now and then. I've always gone back and forth between Democrats and Green Party people throughout my entire life. But now you look at it and you go, oh no, wait a second. It is actually factually true now that the Green Party is a Republican op. It's a Republican op to hurt the Democrats. And it's not a coincidence that this is happening as the Democratic Party is moving left, as the Democratic Party is waking up, and they're embracing democratic socialism, and they're actually standing for democratic values. Okay? So it's not a coincidence that now's the time that the Green Party is a full Republican op. So be very aware of that, okay? Be very, very aware of that. Really disturbing stuff there, man. Really disturbing stuff. Oh, shit, I just accidentally deleted one of my... Here we go. Let me pull this bitch back up. Yeah, here we go. Oh, I'm happy that I got this one back, though, because you're going to like it. So More Perfect Union says, Bernie Sanders just introduced the Guaranteed Paid Vacation Act, which is a bill to guarantee at least 2 weeks of paid vacation to every full-time worker in America. And apparently over 90 other members of Congress already signed on to the legislation. Take a wild guess what party they're in. The ones who signed on to it. And take a wild guess which ones didn't sign on to it. I'm going to let y'all guess. He said, quote, we hear a lot of talk about family values in America, but let's be clear, when a husband, wife, and kids during the course of an entire year are unable to spend any time together on vacation, that is not a family value. That is an attack on everything that a family is supposed to stand for. So he's calling out the Republican hypocrisy. Those are the assholes who don't shut the fuck up about family values. But the fact of the matter is, they don't believe in family values. They use that as a cudgel against gay people and against trans people. I believe in family values as one man and one woman and a white picket fence. And that's how they think of it. But Bernie's like, okay, bitch, you believe in family values? Well, how about a family gets to take a vacation? How about that? How about we catch up to every other developed nation and give people paid time off by law so you don't have to be a fucking slave peasant to an asshole boss every day of the entire year, okay? Minus weekends. How about that? By the way, thank unions for the weekends. But anyway, phenomenal. And you know what the crazy thing is? Under this MAGA government, there is a 0% chance of this passing. Let me repeat that. Under this MAGA government, there is a 0% chance of a bill passing that's simply guaranteed paid vacation for 2 fucking weeks. So tell me again how the America First guy is going to be against that. Make that make sense. He's so America First that he wants to say fuck you to American workers, apparently. What a sick joke. Republicans own this. They have the House, they have the Senate, they have the White House, they have the judiciary, they control everything, and they don't want you to have 2 weeks paid vacation, and Bernie Sanders does. Jesus Christ. Okay. And sorry about the wind noise out here. I don't know if you guys are hearing that. It's getting kind of windy. But I can't lie, it feels good, bro. It is 93 degrees out here, and that's the only thing that's making it tolerable out here. That and the shade of this tree that I'm under right now.
If anyone in this room found out what I was, I wouldn't make it out alive.
Quinn Talon, Squad 3. Is this a joke? Why is a level 1 on Squad 3?
300 heads turned to look at me. I froze. I wasn't a level 1. I was a vampire. And every ability user in this room had been trained to kill things like me.
Wait, hold on. The board just...
The auditorium went dead quiet as everyone watched the draft board scramble. Names flicker, and Quinn Talon reappear at the top.
Quinn Talon, Squad 3. Selection confidence, 100%.
It picked me, bugged out, and then picked me again. The system just exposed me. Everyone looked at me, more suspicious than ever.
There must be a mistake. He's a level 1.
That was Aaron Healy, Squad 3's captain. Level 5, the strongest cadet in our year. I'd had a crush on her since the first week of school. Not that it mattered. She didn't know I existed until the board put my name next to hers. No cruelty in her voice, just fact. But she'd said it loud enough for 300 people to hear. Great. First impression.
Quint Taylor? Who's that?
Rex, level 4, flanked by his gangly lackey Loop. He knew exactly who I was. He couldn't even be bothered to get my name right.
Every squad needs a weak link, I guess.
The room laughed. My face went hot. I started walking, head down. Vampires were hated in this world. Hunted. Ability users had been killing them for 1,000 years. And this academy was wall to wall with ability users. If anyone found out what I wasn't just expelled. I was dead. I was nearly level with Rex when he stepped into my path.
Well, I guess even the Academy makes mistakes. Good luck out there, mistake.
I looked Rex dead in the eye. Better a mistake than the guy who peaks at level 4. The laugh that moved through the room had a different edge. Not laughing with Rex anymore. Rex's grin vanished. His jaw tightened. He lunged for me. I wasn't looking at him. I didn't need to. I felt him shift his weight before he'd even lifted his hand. Then I was 2 feet to his left. There was no dodge, no flinch, no transition. I was in one place, and then I was in another, and the middle just wasn't there. Like someone had cut a frame out of reality. Rex's hands closed on air. He stumbled to one knee.
Did you see that? How did he... A level 1 can't move like that.
The whispering spread fast. Not laughter this time. Something else. 300 ability users had just felt something they couldn't name. Rex muttered something to Loop, and I felt it. The air shifting. An invisible force field locking around my body. Loop's ability. Telekinesis. It froze me in place like I'd been set in concrete. Inescapable for a level 1. I could shatter it with another step, but then everyone would see. Don't move. Don't react. Let them think you're frozen. Rex stepped up in front of me, took his time. He knew I couldn't move. The whole room knew. He cleared his throat. I heard it coming. A glob of mucus hit the side of my head.
Thought you were quick! Level 1?
Students choked with laughter. Rex grinned and took a bow. And I had to stand there, spit running down my face, because I couldn't show anyone who I really was. It was so unfair. My fists clenched, and the floor cracked. A single hairline fracture split the tile beneath my feet. I gasped, terrified I'd revealed myself. But the room was too distracted by Rex's grandstanding to notice.
Good luck out there, talentless Talon!
It would be so easy. One move and everyone would know what I was, and I would never have to take this again. But I said nothing. Then, a spike of ice buried itself between Rex's legs. Dead center, 1 inch from his manhood. The laughter died. Erin hadn't moved from her position at the front, hadn't raised her voice, hadn't even looked up.
The level 1 is on my squad. Leave him alone.
She said it like she was reading a weather report. Then her eyes lifted to Rex. Cold, bored, absolutely certain of what would happen if he didn't listen.
Or what, Helly?
Next time, I won't miss that tiny little pecker.
The laughter in the room shifted, aimed at Rex now. His face went red. The performance dropped. He stepped toward Erin, close enough that only she could hear. But my hearing wasn't human.
You're going to regret that, Erin. You and your little level 1. When I get the chance, and I will get the chance, you will wish you'd kept your mouth shut.
He wasn't playing to the crowd anymore. This was the kind of threat you make when you mean it. Erin didn't flinch. Frost spread across her knuckles.
I'll be right here.
Enough!
One word. The entire auditorium went silent. Rex froze mid-step. Erin's frost stopped spreading. 300 students didn't just stop talking. They stopped moving. A man stepped out of the shadows at the side of the stage. Master Leo, the blind swordsman. Every first year had heard the stories, that he'd ended wars alone, that he could see things on a completely different plane than the rest of us.
Everyone seems rather eager this year.
He moved like the room belonged to him, not with aggression, but with the absolute certainty that nothing in it could touch him. Everyone stayed frozen, and then he smiled, and the air returned to the room. He looked at the entire auditorium, and somehow, I felt like he was only looking at me.
You've been drafted. The squad qualifiers start now. Phase 1, individual duels, no abilities.
No abilities in a qualification trial.
Abilities show you what a student has.
He paused, and something shifted behind his eyes, like he was looking at the room but seeing something else entirely.
Okay, so Missouri voters apparently overwhelmingly rejected a Republican plan that would have skyrocketed sales tax. And over 83% voted against it. So yet again, on direct ballot initiatives, the Republican position fails over 80% of the time, which just goes to show you they have just horrific beliefs that if you get specific with it and give people like nuanced descriptions of what they believe in, everybody hates it. Everybody hates it. Even people who would self-describe as